Yeah. What is up, everyone? Welcome back.
Happy Friday and end of spooky week.
That is it. I'm done. Good night. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, wait a minute. We're not at the end of the show. So tired. Oh, Horror Nights, why do you hate us?
But they love us. They love us. They gave us, what, 4 house announcements this week? No, 5, technically.
5.
With Hollywood.
Yes.
Hollywood got an announcement.
That's true. We're going to talk about that as well. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. If you do not know, I am Zombie Chris. Am I pointing the right way?
Yeah, you're pointing the right way.
That's Dreamport Productions. Hello. Welcome in, everyone.
Also, shout out to HHN 365. Also live streaming right now.
Yes.
Talking about
I tried to push it as further back as I could, but I work tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
Dreamport is
also work tomorrow morning.
So we didn't want to push it back extremely late. We want to get a little bit of sleep. How's everyone doing tonight? Y'all are doing good. Hopefully. I mean, what better way to, I guess, go into the weekend with a whole slate of houses to kind of dream about and have some hopes and dreams maybe shatter when you go to the event. But
well, that's the thing with now is that, like, regardless of how these houses actually turn out, we get excited about it, right? We have to get excited. We have to at least get a mild interest, because what it is like these houses, and I think that's kind of the fun of it. These houses can be great. Yes, they can be disappointing, but they can also be great and surprises.
That's true.
There are houses that I think there are houses I'm super excited about, and there are houses that I'm like, we'll have to wait and see. But honestly, there's a lot of there's a potential that these houses that I'm really excited about can be duds, and the houses that we're not expecting can be great. That's just kind of the nature of things.
Yeah. And for anyone asking about the Wyatt 6, it was kind of spoiled. I did not know. I guess like the young Chris never knew like they do this of recording stuff ahead of time. But yeah, the Wyatt 6 some of the members were wrestling tonight, which they haven't wrestled very much. That's the only thing about
for
them.
A while.
Yeah. I mean, a few injuries and some stuff going on, but now SummerSlam is almost here. I'm sure they're going to make a big, return.
Horror Nights is almost here as well. Frozen Empire 2.0. Me too. We'll talk about it.
Yes. In Garaka, I trust.
Super excited. This is my first year attending Halloween Horror Nights. Glad to hear it's a stronger year. I mean, it's interesting because I feel like
me and Dreamport liked last year. So
I love last year. I mean, in terms of the houses, I mean there were holes, there were things about the event that I didn't love, but for the most part. I really did enjoy last year's event. However, I think it is interesting the reception of this year originals versus last year's originals. When I don't want to say I feel similar because it's different houses, right? All different houses.
Yeah.
But I feel like for me, I'm feeling the same way where like 3 of them, like let's say half. Let's say I won't give away anything quite yet because we'll talk about that later. But like it's a good half of the announcements I'm really excited about. There are some that I'm like, we'll wait and see, and there's some that I'm like, we'll have to see.
Yeah.
Not sure. And that's kind of how I felt last year too.
I think last year, from what I've noticed looking at the originals this year, and then last year, I think last year the originals felt more, dare I say, more creative, more like we're gonna try some things out. And this year, you can tell a lot of the stuff is like, oh, did you like this house and this house? We're going to do something very safe, but similar to this. You like Ghost? We're going to do that. You like, did you like the Yeti house in the snow? You like Ghostbusters? Okay. We're going to kind of do that.
Creatures, like mythical beasts and creatures and graveyard. You like, graveyard games, and you like Descendants of Destruction. You like dolls. We have something for you. For the most part.
What's up? Welcome in. I'll end it on a high note.
A high note. Going since HHN 20. Well,
wow. Yes.
Wow. So you've seen quite a bit of the event. Uh-oh. Can't wait to hear the hot dog fun music. Well.
Yes, that button does not get pressed.
that button does not get pressed. See, I like to put the sound effects on, but that one's a very special sound effect. But we got some fun. We got some fun new ones.
He's got to find a hot dog bumper music or something.
Hot dog music.
Like an Oscar Mayer hot dog, but change it as
yeah, I can't use that.
Oh yeah. Well, you got to do a cover of it, but put Odd Fellows hot dogs.
Excited for some Snow Wolves. I know there's also a comment up here. Game of Thrones vibes. That's kind of the vibes
I'm going to call the wolf Sheba. That is my name for it.
Oh, man. So you heard it here. So if people start calling the wolf Sheba, come back to the stream.
Sheba.
Give Chris the credit.
That's right.
Everything like that. Excited for this house. I'm excited to dive into it. I feel like, and there's other stuff we have to dive into as well because this is.
So shall we talk about first, chat? Should we do what was announced while I was gone? Did we have something announced while I was gone?
I don't think so.
No? I mean, the day I took off?
No, I think it's good. I think we can just wrap it up. Oh, well, I guess we have a couple things.
Oh, yeah.
Did we talk about Mike Ellis saying shows at Spooky Empire? I don't think we talked about it, but it is one of those things that like it's a maybe. It's when it comes to whatever people say at conventions, I take very like grain of salt because a lot of times those folks are being put on the spot. I mean, I'm sure when you're someone like Mike Aiello or like any of those folks up there are certain questions you kind of have to be ready for that you're going to get asked. Especially like when it comes to like Five Nights at Freddy's. That one, I'm sure there's someone was going to ask that. But there are other questions that I'm sure, might be slip up, or might be just something it might be true.
Because when he says shows could be anything. I mean, he talked about Nightmare Fuel. We kind of lean towards that being back, but shows could be, for all we know, there could be a Mel's Dying show. There could be a show... Scaramony. There could be a street show. It could be a lagoon show.
It could be many different things. And Horror Nights has kind of changed their definition of like shows. Yeah, I understand, meaning plural. Again, that's one of those things that, I think it was, obviously nothing's confirmed yet. I know there's very high probability of a lagoon show coming back, especially with the construction we saw not too long ago. Let me see if we can find it. But do we still have that?
What?
The
no.
construction picture?
I couldn't find it.
That's fine. Either way, I know that's kind of been an idea of being sort of talked about live entertainment. Yeah, yeah. Like just in general, I don't know honestly with anything anymore because they never really clarified any of that. Of course, we said this before. Website still says live entertainment, still says sinister scare zones. Does not say like one thing or the other. So, hopefully Transformers comes back. I feel like we brought this up a couple times before, but yes, hopefully Transformers does come back. And yes, this is the photo. So truss over here by the Central Park location. It still looks the same. They haven't really added anything to it since this photo was taken a week and a half ago.
Wow.
But this is obviously right by the Lagoon Show entrance. And the
Mm-hmm.
last time we saw a truss that looked just like this was for Ghoulish, which was the final Lagoon Show at this
Yeah.
point for Horror Nights. So, it's one of those
And as
things.
well as we also have empty buildings. So like we have horror makeup like area could be a show. We have Born Theater that could house a show at some point.
I mean, you could
Maybe they could do, oh, well, there's also the show that they do for Death Eaters. I mean, is that considered a show where they come out or is that an entrance?
So I think Death Eaters are considered what they consider an encounter, which is a really weird thing to call it, especially
Yeah.
because I'm like, well, isn't like the whole thing and you encountering the characters from being in the zones?
Well, they can't use scare,
No.
yeah.
Not with rolling. But I do think there is because they list it under like attractions. They
Okay, yeah.
like on the map you'll see attractions and you'll have the 4, typically 3 or 4. We'll see this year. But then you'll have the Death Eater encounter. But
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's much room they can do that.
Anymore.
Because the tours meet over there unless they change that and have us go for somewhere else. But
Which
they use it for unmasking horror tours.
Which I mean, I'm curious to see where they go with it coming this year because that area is completely walled off. And do they work on that and fix it by the time Horror Nights comes around? We'll have to wait and see. But I think now's a good time to maybe go into one of our announcements.
Yes,
We
have announcements.
Should we start from where we left off, or
Yes. So while I was at work on Thursday, something got announced.
Yeah.
Where is it at? Oh, it's up here. So this got announced. Grave of Flesh. Which, if you guys didn't know, on TikTok, they actually put more work into whatever the announcements over there because they actually have music and animation and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very interesting because I do not know if that is a play off of how this house is supposed to be.
Oh, yeah.
Because the music for this one, if you want to take a listen, it sounds... Where is it at?
I haven't heard this.
Did I have it? Did I not upload it?
Oh, come on.
Where is it at?
Leaving us hanging. Oh. They do? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know. I don't know. I have a TikTok, but I don't use it.
Here it is. This is what it sounds like. So my thoughts before was like, we'll have to wait and see how this house is. And then when I heard this, I was like, oh, that makes perfect sense with the art style and what a lot of people were saying. So here we go.
That actually sounds sick. Whoa.
Yeah, that totally kind of changes that vibe.
Yeah,
it doesn't sound very ominous and scary and like that slow, grim type of music. It sounds like very much rock metal. Like this is supposed to be like a lot of people have named like Return of the Living Dead, like that very 80s punk rock metal type of like idea. Now that could just be for TikTok and they're just doing that, but that kind of made me a little bit more excited to kind of see the interest that way.
Yeah. For me, it definitely gives me like it gives me that. It reminds me a lot of like Iron Maiden. Like kind of gives me like that Iron Maiden, like
Yes.
Metallica, like esque feel, and it gives me like that.
Yeah, like
Yeah, like
they
with the
came
art
out with this
style.
album.
With
So for Grave of Flesh, let me read the synopsis on this. It is welcome to your funeral where it's about to go from bad to worse. You'll enter the underworld and be haunted by flesh eaters for eternity. Now they make a key reference of saying flesh eaters because it is not zombies. A lot of people
yeah,
were expecting zombies, but terming it flesh eaters means they can probably just, do
yeah.
something a little bit more different. And
I
what
mean,
was your thoughts, Dreamport?
yeah. I'm gonna say this comment right here is kind of where I am at, because for me, I was when I first heard about this house, I was kind of, I don't want to say let down, or just I just didn't, there wasn't enough for me to chew off of. That the announcement is was kind of vague, and that's my thing with a lot of these original announcements, and that's kind of the nature of these announcements. Unfortunately, we don't get any videos anymore. We don't get any really too much of a deep dive right
Yeah.
now for most of them. So it's like this one, sentence description. Maybe we get a longer description elsewhere. Sometimes, like as we'll talk about
Once the
with another one of the
website
houses.
updates, yeah, with
Yeah,
the
once the website updates, and maybe we get like a podcast or something later on down the road, so like we
and a
can get
press
something.
release, like a
Yeah,
full one.
exactly, or some pictures, whatever, right? But like, I like I I I like this idea that it is this sort of underground. The creatures look cool. Let's throw it back on the screen real quick. That creature looks wild. Gives me very much like this. I don't even know how to describe this. Like almost like reptilian,
Yeah.
alien kind of like vibe. But it does almost remind me of the mouth brooders from Depths
Yep.
of Fear.
Yeah, I was
And I know
thinking that too.
that's been kind of made. Now, as far as the sets go, considering this is under a graveyard, I think it could be really cool. But at the same time,
It
I
could be
worry it's going
repetitive.
to be
Yeah.
very samey, because it's like you're just underground. Like the underworld part of it sounds cool, because I'm like, what does that look like? Versus, just going underneath the graveyard.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing, our facade will be the graveyard. Maybe like how they do with Poltergeist, where we have up above us, we have the graveyard and all the tombstones and everything, and then we go underneath like a tunnel or something, and then we're down in the underground. But like I said, that music it's just like you said, it could just be generic for TikTok. But
Yeah.
also at the same time, it does feel like it could be that kind of, it could be that old school HHN feel. Like sometimes those houses are very simple, and it's like the very simple concept, and it kind of gives me, and I'm sure you'll have your feelings about this, but it kind of gives me like spawning vibes a little bit.
Yeah.
Just a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
bit, of just of how of how everything goes with the monsters, and the fact that they look like they're original monsters. And I like that it's not zombies, because like zombies are cool and all, but like when you have zombies in a funny setting, then it's neat. But if you just have zombies underground, it doesn't do much for me. Yeah,
Yeah. This was not the house I was expecting that was
yeah,
announced, or not the house that was rumored, and I
sure,
got very excited. Obviously, I'm a fan of all the like graveyard houses they've done. Graveyard games and Deadly Unrest in the Scare Zone, Winter's Night. So I think they've always perfected a graveyard house. So it'll be interesting of them taking this further, and will it be just as good as those or repetitive? I know I said to you, this seems like it could be the Insidious house for this year, where it's like dark. It's very just scare, scare, scare. Not a whole lot of like scenic, more just like old school scariness. Because I know Horror Nights, at least Hollywood, I know that's something John Murdy has said over and over again, is
right.
that this year they're focusing a lot on the event being scary. So I'm wondering if Orlando's kind of following that path, especially with it as popular as Insidious was,
Hmm.
and knowing that house was like a lot of just scare, scare, scare.
Hmm. Well, to
Looking at the
me,
artwork, there's one thing I want to make is that when you look at the flesh eater, The eyes are blue, and I do wonder, because we're underworld and it's probably going to be dark, I do wonder
Mm.
if their eyes are going to be glowing. And I know they haven't done that effect in a long time, but it would be kind of creepy that you're seeing like the glowing eyes. I mean, it would kind of give away the scare, but it still would add to this flesh eating or flesh eaters.
Yeah. And I think that kind of reminds me of what they did with last year with Zyborgs and Slaughter Cinema, where they had the glowing pieces and you can kind of see them, even
Hmm.
though like it doesn't take away from the costume. But
Yeah.
I think the thing is for me, and what I really again I'm curious about, because you mentioned those other graveyard houses, and I wonder how much that's actually going to play a role. Is it going to be one of those things of like, and I'm sure we'll talk about this, and I have a video coming out later on that's going to dive more into this topic, so I'll save some of it for that. But obviously, they say everything's connecting to the theme, the graveyard theme, the conservatory theme.
Hmm.
Is that just a connective tissue? Just like, hey, the graveyard is the setting because of the theme, and we're really just kind of doing something different with it. Because when you think graveyard, you think like right ghosts, zombies, things like that. Well, we're
Yeah.
kind of getting that with Spanish haunting. So it would be weird to have two ghost houses
That's true. Yeah.
in the same year, like very, very similar to each other. Whereas this is something completely different, and it doesn't really even like these don't seem like it. It seems more like the flesh eater. I don't know what they're called. They're the flesh eaters. I don't remember what they're called. They
Oh,
kind of
these things? What do you mean? Like the ones in
the
this house?
creatures. Yeah,
Oh, flesh eaters. Yeah.
the like the the creatures kind of remind me of like I said, mouth brooders from Depths of Fear, but also a little bit of like nightingales in that they lurk underneath, like they
Hmm.
lurk out of human view.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those things that if you get caught down there, then you're kind of in trouble because these are these beasts that are out of view. Like when I think about death and I think about what graveyard, I'm not thinking there's little like monsters underneath the actual graves that are eating people.
Yeah.
Same thing with the nightingales. Like I feel like they're kind of does this make sense? Like I feel like it's these monsters that exist in our world, but they're kind of unseen. But they're like of Universal's own creation. It's not like, oh, we're basing this on mythology of some kind. Like this is not a myth, like some kind of urban legend character. But it's like I don't know. I think it's just it's interesting. It's interesting. I think for me, this is definitely one that I'm gonna. It's definitely a wait and see kind of item
Yeah.
versus I think that's everything. And like, what's that underworld look like? I know there's comments about that. Like, what does that look? Is it like, is it hell? Is it like Hades where it's like something different? Um, and are we gonna like? Cause I keep my brain keeps going to Poltergeist. Like, are we gonna get like? I'm thinking of that room. I don't know if Orlando did it. I know Hollywood did it, where we had all the graves and there were all like the bodies in there, and some of them were real, some of them
Yeah.
were not. And doing that kind of thing of like, are we gonna have that be partially scares in addition to these creatures? Because if it's just these creatures, I feel like that could get repetitive real quick.
Yeah. That's the only downside I was thinking, because they're in the synopsis. It doesn't say other things. It just says flesh eaters. So I
Right.
don't know if that's flesh eaters as in like there's different forms of these. Like, are there going to be bigger ones, smaller
Maybe.
ones? Like a mama and papa, like like
We're
different
getting Yetis all
versions,
over again.
or is
Bears.
it just a bunch of these creatures? Like they just kind of they live underground or underneath, and that's all there is. Could be
Mm,
like the spawning type of thing, where it's just a bunch of us spawning characters that just all look alike,
yeah.
and that would get repetitive. But
It could. That's the thing that it's like, it's one of those, and this is something that I saw. I noticed too. I was looking in the background. There are the skulls, and I have a feeling the undead bodies.
oh yeah,
I
like
think they're going to play a role.
yeah,
Maybe they aren't quite dead. Like like I think the buried alive thing is kind of that's freaky myself.
hmm
Like as like in real life, the idea that you could be
we're
buried
gonna
alive,
turn the corner and see a flesh eater like
right?
eating a skeleton person, and
But
the
that's like
skeleton's like reaching out for us. It would be
yeah, like
weird because you're used to the skeleton person being the one that's scaring you.
yeah. So I'm curious. I'm curious about it. I think we'll talk about. I'm sure we're going to talk about our thoughts and kind of ranking, like initial rankings and stuff. But
Dreamport, have you ever watched The Descendant?
The
Yes,
Descent,
I have. Funny enough, I have somewhere in here. It's a giant, like if you ever been to the movie theaters and you see those giant wall size like posters,
uh-huh.
some of my old friends got me for some reason a Descendant wall size poster. So it's just sitting in a canister because I could never put it up because it's just gigantic. It's
You have
too
no room.
big.
I
But
I
yeah,
have
I've seen it.
I've never seen this, so I've heard of
Oh,
it. I've seen the
that
poster, and
might
I've
be a
seen the
good
DVD.
movie to recommend for
That could
people to
be good.
watch before Horror Nights if they want to get to like
Hey,
Return of the Living Dead. I don't know, just
maybe,
for funniness.
maybe,
Not that it's very closely related to this, but
but
yeah, The Descendant. Yeah, definitely,
and
that's a good watch.
and it's on Tubi, so it's free.
Oh,
I
hey,
just looked it up. So
I
right now, if you want to watch
love
it,
Tubi.
Tubi. Hey, shout out to Tubi.
Tubi
Um,
and Pluto TV is how you're going to watch a lot. And because Amazon Prime is doing Prime Days, if you want to watch Fallout series, you can now like join up to be a Prime member for 30 days for free or something.
Fallout,
Perfect timing to
Fallout,
watch the Fallout series.
Fallout, and then and this is a great question because I was just about to talk about this. So, what Friday the 13th movies? I'm thinking, and this is just maybe me. I'm thinking, obviously, watch the first one. Like that's like you got to watch the first one just to get
Yeah.
familiar with the location, get familiar with Pamela, especially if you want to go right into Crystal Lake, which is coming. I mean, I don't know how much of the house is going to be based on this, but I think honestly, and I think you might agree with me. I think the remake might be the best way to like get the feel of
Yeah.
everything, get the feel of them
If
all.
you just want to watch one, I would say the remake is probably the best way just because it wraps up number one and number two really like quickly in there, and it throws in kind of just like an average Jason, like a more modern Jason.
Sure.
So I would say that one, or if you want to go old school, I would say the first three.
Definitely, if you want a funny movie, watch the third one. I
Yes.
mean, they're all a little silly, but that third movie is hilarious.
So
Um,
great.
but I think that the remake also because it gives you the camp setting, it gives you the vibe. I think if that's what you want, if you need the vibe of Jason, and you're like, oh man, I want to get in the mood to watch. Like I watched part three. I want to watch all of them just because I've only seen a handful of them.
Hmm.
And I would like to watch the whole series. I know, like I've seen Jason X, and I've seen like I don't think that's gonna be involved, but if you want to watch a funny, another funny one, watch Jason X, but not involved in the actual house itself, I don't think. But yeah, Fallout on Prime, a few Friday the 13th. What else we have gotten announced? We could probably honestly do that a segment later too about the other houses because I'm thinking like off the top of my head, I'm thinking you got to watch like Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I mean, that's one of the
Ooh,
best movies ever
yeah.
made, also. But like,
Yeah.
that's gonna give you that old west, that
Spaghetti Western. Yep.
gunslinging spaghetti western in that um, dolls. I mean, watch Chucky, watch Chucky.
We have no clue.
Yeah, at
We
this
can't
point,
comment on this one because we do not know
uh,
anything officially yet or anything that we have heard. So
yeah,
um,
it's
it's a wait and see.
it's a wait and see. So much of this event is a wait and see, especially because they're tearing up the park right now for Rip Ride Rocket. So,
We're kind of in that old school Horror Nights era when they were building Transformers. And a lot of stuff was just like,
you're like, we'll have to wait and see.
yeah,
Wait and see.
gonna have to roll with the punches this year.
We're gonna have to roll with the punches, but hey, we got good houses this year, so good looking houses. Um, Also, Bray Wyatt documentary. I'll have to watch
Ooh,
this because I
yeah,
forgot
that's a
that
good
this.
one. If you
I
want a
forget that this
real,
exists.
wow, yeah.
Yeah, because I've been wanting to watch up on some of that lore and some of that stuff. Obviously, once we get some more information and we get to know what specifically we're tackling in this house, then
Yeah.
we could tailor it more. I'm sure Losh will do a homework video of what to watch before the event. So stay
He'll
tuned.
do
I'm
it.
sure
He'll
other
do like a 2 hour deep dive into the history of
of everything.
the White Six leading to Horror Nights.
Yeah. But yeah, so I think that'll be something. And then of course with Five Nights at Freddy's, just watch Five Nights at Freddy's. The movie, it's on. It should be on Peacock. I don't know if it is or not,
Yes.
um, but yeah,
And
yeah.
so we got we should
Should we
let's look.
go to the next house
Mm,
or talk about
we can talk about where is
you?
it at?
You're the maestro.
We can
This is
talk
your
about
stream. Oh.
no, okay, not that one. Not that one. Where is it? So, as I am still trying to make this Horror Unleashed Vegas video currently, Horror Nights decided to announce this as well. We got Horror Unleashed in a broken down vacant building that looks like something you don't want to go near or in. I mean, the guy on the corner looks very sketchy. I don't know. There's like two guys over there. I'm very terrified.
I believe. Let me look this up. I'm the old. This is the Tribune building, like the
Tribune,
old
yes.
Chicago Tribune building. I believe is what they is what they're using for the Horror Unleashed Chicago location. I'm gonna before we go. It's not that big. It's just hold on. It's big. It's big in the perspective of the camera because it's closer to the camera. Yeah, this is gonna sound really weird, but yeah, it's big in the perspective of the camera, just because this is, I think, a safe distance.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's why it's not huge. It's like this is the size of my hand. So there you go.
That's probably big too.
But yeah. So
Yep.
love Chicago.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. Yeah.
In Chicago. Love Chicago. It's an awesome city for horror and Halloween experiences. Yeah, so I understand from my understanding, that's pretty good haunt scene out there. Like it's like there's a lot of stuff out in Chicago.
I was doing a little research on that of seeing what was around. I was like, wow, like there's a lot of haunts over there.
Let's see. Is anybody if anybody knows of any Chicago haunts, like haunts in the chat, let us know, because I honestly I have no understanding if there's like events or if it's like, I mean, I'm sure there's 13th floor.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, there's a 13th floor,
stuff like that. And whenever I look up haunt scene, I get Johnny Bronto. So even if it's haunt scene, 2 words.
yeah.
But yeah, it is interesting that Vegas is not done yet. We are still working on Horror Unleashed Vegas, and this has been announced. So
yeah,
that's
that's a bold move. I'll say that
for sure. For sure. And it's one of those things that's like, hate saying this, but it's another wait and see. We have to see how they do it. Is it going to be the same houses? Will it be different houses? Will it be laid out the same? Will it be what we see Jack? Will we see something else? And I know, Albert, that I think this is the future. I think they're going to add more. I don't think this is it. I don't see where they just put 2 of them.
Yeah.
They maybe not in these locations. I don't know exactly in these locations, just because there's, we also had and shout out to Alosh in his video. I know he's up here somewhere. In his video, he mentioned this. If you haven't seen the video, it's on Losh TV's channel right now, kind of about the updates. So if you have not subscribed to Losh TV, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing? Go subscribe.
Go subscribe. But he did mention in his video the locations they took that Epic Universe portal could be good candidates for.
Yeah, while they were out there, they're like scouting locations. They're like, let's see what do we got here.
So that's why. Oh,
he wants it. He
asking shall
it.
receive. Asking shall receive. But yes, so that's what I'm saying. Is like, I think that they could be looking at these locations. I know Texas is one of those that I thought about. Atlanta.
Oh, here we go.
New Jersey. Oh, here's a bunch of them. Okay, Hell's Gate Massacre Mansion.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, Hell's Gate is a big one. I've heard of that one.
So okay, and I know from my understanding, there's actual also haunted places there. Like it's not just like there's like haunted. Like here we have a little bit of it. Like for us, in Orlando, we have Sanford area has some haunted stuff because it's so old. Sanford area has it. I know if you, when you go downtown, there's a great I cannot remember her name. She just, does Instagram, I think TikTok. These like bite sized kind of like haunted history of, or like Orlando. She does other places too, but she's covered Orlando extensively.
Hmm.
Cannot remember her name. But I know like down on Church Street, like at the old oh man, what is the hotel? It's they used to have a Hamburger Mary's over here.
Oh,
It
okay.
was in
Okay. Yeah.
that hotel. What was like an old
Yeah.
hotel, and then that has a ton of haunted history.
Oof.
St. Augustine, yeah, of course. St.
Yeah.
Augustine's got a ton of it. Miami, there's some
Yeah.
haunted stuff down there.
I've experienced a few things in St. Augustine. It's very creepy at night.
Yeah, yeah. So it's one of those things that it's like, yeah, I saw a ton of these.
And there is some concern. I'm worried
Sure,
too overreaching. Yeah.
sure. Uh,
That's definitely a thing. And then we have this one, which I was just telling Dreamport before the show. Like I just
we had to
learned
talk
about
about
this
this.
about Disney Quest Chicago. I had no clue all this stuff
Yeah,
was like going on.
yeah, and it kind of spectacular flop,
Yeah.
and to the point where they did do any more of them.
And then even Eli Roth did his was it Grotesque or
Moratorium.
something like that, where it was a year-round haunt on in Vegas on like the Strip, and that failed. Like that closed within like I think 2 years,
Sure.
but
It's
that
one
was
of
like
those,
much earlier though.
yeah, it's one of those things that it's just like, um, uh-oh, uh-oh,
Oh shoot!
uh-oh, uh-oh, it's time, it's time.
Thank you for the super chat. Now enjoy a Oddfellow hot dog. Thank you for the super chat. Now enjoy a Oddfellow hot dog. You guys just want us to eat these hot dogs. I
Yeah,
don't understand it.
shout out to Launch TV for the hot
Why do you
dog
want to
fun.
torture me? I mean, thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
I mean, I had an interesting time eating a vegan hot dog at Epic.
The
I won't
carrot dog.
finish that story. So,
Um, New Orleans is that would be an interesting one too. I don't know how that would go, but
yeah,
right,
it's true.
like
Yeah,
it
damn.
could go one of either way. But
Then
yeah,
we'll finally get Dead Waters back. Although that would be kind of, yeah, I don't know if they would do that. Ugh.
I don't know if you would want to do that. Like if they'd be
Yeah.
like, well, I mean, it's almost like when they're like, oh, we people don't want Pirates of the Caribbean in Florida because they have pirates around there. Like you don't need to say that. I did not know this that Pantera had a haunt. I did not know that.
What?
Hardcore haunt.
Wow.
Wow, I have to look into that. That'd be
I
really
should have
interesting.
known this.
It wouldn't work here. I mean, that's very valid. I have no like I know Orlando. I've lived here my whole life, so I really don't have any reference outside of that for what would work. I think Vegas would be something because it's got already tourists, but yeah, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, and this is a great point. We don't even know if it'll work like at all. And
It's true.
are they
Because
going to
by
have slow
then,
seasons?
it's 2027 is when they're saying this is going to open. And I mean, same thing as Vegas is probably going to be like August of 2027. So by then, Vegas would have already been open, what 25,
2 years.
26, yeah, so 2 years. And that's, I think, for a year-round experience. The first year, you're going to get everyone who's, it's the buzzword, it's the media
Sure.
rollout, it's everyone being excited. But what's really going to happen to these year-round haunts once a year has passed? It's going to be up to Universal to keep everyone excited or interested beyond the change out. Like, what is that going to be like too? We don't know. Are they going to really just, change, like close it and then reopen back in August? Or are they really going to be year round and just change out one maze at a time? Like,
Yeah, how often is it going to be? Are we going to have a slow season? Like, is there going to be like, in January tickets are low, so is it that going to be where like no one's going to be there, or less people are going to be there?
Because I just read someone saying that Vegas, like tourism in general, is down. So I'm like, oh, that's not good.
That's not a great sign. Let's see. I'm going to look right now. Just out of curiosity, if they have stuff on Thrill Data right now on Horror Nights
That would
Unleashed
be
ticket sales.
interesting. Yeah,
I don't know if they
because
would yet, but
can you? Yeah.
I'm gonna look and see. But
Yes.
we can continue. I won't be able to see it, but
Oh, can you see it? Oh, you're looking it up.
I'm
Yeah.
looking right now. I can't. I'm
Gotcha.
just not looking at chat.
I got you. So Savannah, oh yeah, definitely. I've been there, and yes,
Hmm.
very spooky, especially. Yes, Atlanta, definitely. I can 100% see that.
Ooh,
I can see them wanting to do something bigger in Atlanta. Maybe not a theme park, but then maybe this is a start too. Like, because once you get
yeah.
one Universal thing in one city, they can plan for something else. I mean, it's going to be weird to look at Universal like 20 years from now to be like, man, we used to just enjoy it where it was just, a
In
Hollywood and
parks.
Orlando and Epic and Islands. And now there's like, like 8 more like Universal parks, like crazy.
Well, I also and Chris, you can hear me good, right? Hear me, see
Yes.
me good. Okay. Just want to make sure because I was noticing my computer was lagging. But and a chat too. If I'm going out, let me know. Um, but well, I think Atlanta, and we were kind of again talking about this before the show, but I'm thinking of something like the World of Coca-Cola. For those who have been there, this idea of like this main complex that then shoots off into a bunch of other experiences, or like the aquarium's kind of the same way, where like you have this main complex building that then you have other experiences. Like I know aquarium used to have like a 4D show, like that was a thing you had, and there's a bunch of other stuff, and I'm like thinking about like I think had Great Movie Escape taken off, that would have been something they would have thought about putting up elsewhere. But obviously that was not something that we did. Um, why go to well? This is the big question. Why go to Halloween Horror Nights if we have it in Chicago, in Vegas, in Atlanta, in Austin, in New Jersey, in New York, in Miami, in San Diego? It it's
It's it's playing very dangerous game there. That's a very dangerous game
so
because
that's
are you going to bring the same properties to all of them? Or are you going to do the
yeah.
same properties at Orlando that you're going to do at Vegas? Or is it just going to be Vegas is going to be like where you go to get not exclusive stuff, but stuff from like the past? Or it's like, oh, you missed out on this Horror Nights year. Like, oh, we're doing a Stranger Things haunt. Okay. Like, is there going to be anything that's amazing or exclusive over there? Maybe. I mean,
Mhm.
that would be the play I would think to get people over there. If you do something truly original, like I don't know, well, you also have to think too, if it's 4 mazes, they have to be big enough and important enough. You can't just throw in, a mediocre like house.
I mean, you can,
Like they
and
can't do like Eddie's,
oh yeah,
horror
yeah,
horror
horror
maze
hotel.
because people are going to be like, who is Eddie? Like Jack is going to pull an audience, but like
Yeah,
Eddie, okay. But four houses doesn't leave you, and we also don't know if Chicago's going to have more than four.
sure,
Maybe they keep with that idea of doing four.
sure. That is very true. Um, and this is true. HHN is a different animal.
Yeah.
You have big properties. But here's the thing. I hesitate to. We say this because we're fans. We know the difference. What about Joe Schmo, who's closer to Chicago than he is to Orlando,
Mm-hmm.
and is like, well, I want to do the Horror Nights thing,
Yeah.
especially if they have, like, let's say this year, right? Five Nights at Freddy's goes really well. They say we're going to ship to Vegas because why not? We want to continue using this house or anything else, right? And he goes, well, Chicago's a lot closer, or I live in Chicago
Mm-hmm.
rather than fly out to Orlando. Granted, it's a different experience again, but you're you're making it more accessible for the local folks. And I think what's really going to be interesting is whenever, and I know this has been kind of thrown out there, but the UK, because we get a lot of overseas folks that travel here for Horror Nights.
Oh,
A
yep.
lot of overseas. Um, and you mean, you mean? Sorry, I had to interrupt myself.
God, that scared me.
But yeah, so yeah, for like the UK, like what happens there? Because
Ooh.
again, if it's between, I can go down to wherever, wherever this is located. I think it's like
Mm-hmm.
Bristol. Where is this park? I don't know where this park is located. I'm assuming it's going to be attached to whatever the new park is. It If you're closer to there and you're like, well, I normally would fly over to Orlando
Yeah.
and do a whole 3 week
This is going to be a whole lot
vacation.
cheaper.
Right. So, this is true though. This is a fair point. There are still horror experiences, but it's curious because it's not Horror Nights.
Yeah.
That's the one kind of caveat to that, is that we haven't
And
seen, once we expand Horror Nights, like Universal's Horror Nights with the IPs and the theming and the detail and stuff we love.
because when you think like that comment of saying they fly out to Hollywood and Orlando, because Horror Nights, as you say, it's an overall experience in a theme park. You're also adding the theme park element. You're adding 10 hauses,
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood for 8. That's a lot comparison
Yeah.
to just 4 houses at
This is true.
this year-round haunt. Cost-wise too, like you got to factor in that too. Plus, like you're going to spend at least a day, 2 days at Horror Nights. You can do the Vegas experience of Horror Unleashed one time, do the houses multiple times, and you're done. Like you can see everything in one night. There's no feeling of need to do it 2 and 3 nights like Horror Nights is, where you can spend time to relax. You can do half of the houses, half of the other houses. There's scare zones to see. There's shows, tribute stores. There's a whole lot more in the theme park like event versus a year-round event.
Plus, if somebody goes to Shy instead of Orlando, this is true. It is still Universal. It is still their
that's true.
company.
Yeah.
So it's not like Disney is doing this. It's not like there's another company. And this is a curious one. And of course, we talked about this when initial announcements were made. But yeah, a general admission, you can only go in the houses once. If you want to go, you'd have to pay for the ultimate price, the unlimited.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is that I've always wondered about this since day one. Or would they have a frequent fear option or some kind of
Local
multi-pass option for those folks who do live near Vegas that say, "Hey, I want to go here on the weekends."
Yeah.
I love to come like a week, like how we do. Like the folks like me, I go to Horror Nights once or twice a week if I can make it. So, ooh.
Oh wow!
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes. Blues Brothers Zombies? Yes. Sorry. I just...
No, you're good.
saw that. But this comment, this is interesting.
Yeah, a lot of people were talking about this, about Universal being like, hey, let me scoop that up.
Mm-hmm. Funny, we still don't know. That's the thing. We have folks who are out in Vegas right now. I know, like, there's some pictures of some of the creative team out there. Some of
I think they're doing
faces.
Promotional stuff right now,
Yes.
filming and taking all their photos because
Right.
they moved on from Epic, so now
Epic's
they're over
done.
there. Yeah.
Epic's done, and the thing is with these HHN announcements is they're already ready. It's just whenever they come out. Like the stuff's already done for it. So it's just right now they're filming Chicago, not yet.
Mm-hmm.
Filming Vegas stuff. This is, and this is the perspective. Maybe this is the perspective that like people will still go. I mean, because you do have new stuff every year. You do have new IPs, and that again, for me, it'll be interesting because everybody in this chat, everybody watching this stream, everybody watching this channel, us, we enjoy the event at least to a degree. Even if you're like slightly, or if you're interested and you're like, oh, it's my first year, because I know there's folks in here is like, oh, it's my first time going, or I wanted to go to the event, or I'm curious. At least there's an interest in the event. You kind of know what it is. If you're watching Zombie Chris, if you're watching Zombie Chris video, you know, you know what it is. You know what Horror Nights is, right? So it's like we're coming from that perspective versus folks who are like, what is this? Or the folks that will talk to at Horror Nights at Universal and stay and scream, what's this line for? That's the kind of people that I'm curious about versus us, who we obviously know what the event is. We know that, like, for me, even if I lived in Chicago or I lived in Vegas and had access to to Horror Unleashed, I would still be like, well, I want to go to the motherland, like I want to
Yeah.
go to the place where it happens. So I don't think it's like a and I don't think Universal thinks it's an either or. I just think it's a different clientele. I think
Yeah.
it's a different clientele.
They're going for a different
Um,
audience.
um,
They're going for the people that are like in Vegas for the weekend, like
yeah.
even like bachelor party, like
Oh
that
yeah.
type of thing. Maybe you're just like hanging out and you're like, oh, what is this thing over in Area 15? They're going for tourists that are going to the Area 15 area in general because they've
Mhm.
heard so much about that.
Yeah. And like you said, the first year, I think there's going to be us who are like, I know you're going. You're set on going in this haunt season. Um.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
How many times have you been in a theme park and heard that one?
Not even that, or the what is this? What is this for? Is this a ride?
Yep.
But yeah. So for me, I'm going to. I mean, I know you're going. You already have plans to go. I would like to go. I'm thinking maybe sometime next year, but also I've never been to Vegas before, so that would be my. I think that's a pro too. Is you have people like me who I would go to Vegas,
Mm-hmm.
and experience the other stuff they have there. I would love to see Area 15. I would love to,
Yeah.
go up and down the strip and like see these places that I've always heard about. I'm not big like into gambling or anything like that,
Yeah.
so I'm sure that's not my speed as much. Um, but it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting for sure.
Sadly, I won't. I won't be able to experience Vegas too much. Like
Yeah,
literally the way we travel there, it's solely for like Horror Unleashed. So we're gonna like probably arrive, get to the hotel, and then I'll have maybe a few short hours just to kind of like soak in Vegas, and then we head to Horror Unleashed, and then we fly out the next day. So like no Vegas for me.
yeah. But yeah, I think that it's interesting. We'll have to
And
wait and see.
and the one last thing I wanted to say was I was thinking about so IPs, right? Generally, like what we have for this year, right? Fallout, Jason Universe. Those came to Horror Nights Orlando because there is sort of an advertisement tie-in, right?
Yeah,
Usually we get an IP when it's an anniversary, a movie's coming out to promote it.
sure.
What's going to happen like that when you have something, say if we had a Megan house because of the new Megan movie?
Yeah,
If that came this year to Horror Nights Orlando, would it come to Unleashed 3 years later? Because it's still promoting, but they don't, you know what I mean? It's not promoting the brand new thing. So it's like, I don't know if their shareholder or whoever owns would be like, yeah, I want you to use this thing in Vegas 4 years later. Like,
I
it's one of those
mean,
things because stuff comes to Orlando and Hollywood when it's time to promote or they have something tied with it.
sure. But I think honestly, it's about I think the diversity of the IPs, because not even the whole diversity of the IPs, but just like what we have, right? Because like we have Classic Monsters, which it's Classic
Hmm.
Monsters. That's a good
Yeah.
back pocket one. We have Exorcist, which is a Blumhouse property. It's their Blumhouse integration. Interesting choice to do that one, but again, I've expressed this before that how I feel about that house, and I'm ready to see it again. Um, but then you have Texas, which is not owned by Universal. It is not. It's one they have easy access to.
Yeah.
Like Murdy can make a couple phone calls. Orlando, has had it happen multiple times before. They've had Texas at the event, so it's one of those things that like it's again we don't like everything else. Wait and see. We don't know. These are very safe IPs. We don't know how far they're going to go. Are they going to debut exclusive IPs? Are they going to do exclusive originals? Are we going to get to see stuff that it's been American Werewolf in London. Why not? It's been like 10 years since we've seen that one. So we're going to bring it to Vegas. It's a wait and see process. And I think we can sit here and talk about it, but and we can analyze kind of the process of it and the fact that it is, again, universal IPs, and they're trying to go for all different. So they have like a slasher, they have
Yeah.
your creature features, you have your, of course, your original, which that's kind of a, it's one of those things that you can plug and play. You can plug and play whatever original you want in there.
Yeah.
Scarecrow's a good one to start with because it's very popular on both coasts. I think Monstros is next. Sorry, y'all. I think Monstros is gonna go to Vegas. We'll
Oh
we'll be
God.
talking about Monstros. Don't you worry. But yeah, it'll be interesting for sure.
Wow. Yeah, there you
This is
go.
hey, I understand. For me, they're not doing a great job for me in making me interested. As far as I'm excited because it's Horror Nights. Outside of that, though, if I wasn't a Horror Nights fan, I don't think I would care. But that's just me.
No, I kind of feel that way too. Like Hornets is very special. It's a unique thing. Like it's a community. It's a bond. It's something we all love. We love to talk about it and debate for hours. So it's one of those things of like you're seeing something you love kind of just be now shared even further, and that could be scary in a way.
Uh-oh. It's time for another.
Thank you for the super chat. Now enjoy a Odd Fellow hot dog. Thank you for the super chat. Now enjoy a Odd Fellow hot dog.
Marcus.
Thank you,
five.
Marcus. I'm gonna demand to Michaelo, please bring back, I guess, some kind of Oddfellow hot dog back
We're gonna get
if Oddfellow comes next year.
We're gonna get one.
Yeah, but that's all the news that we thought and say. I'm sure we can talk for longer on this, but it's a wait and see. But in other news, we actually had another house announced today. And let me see if I can bring this one up. And it is this one, which I still do not know how to pronounce this. Is it Galkn?
So from my understanding,
Galkn?
this is a Norse pronunciation of the word monster or beast or something of that nature. My understanding, monster, and from my understanding, there's no pronunciation of it. Like there's no, like, it's a couple different ways you can say it. I've been saying Galkn because that sounds right.
Galkn.
Galkn. I don't know. How are we saying it? How are we saying it, guys? Yes, a Norwegian HHN house.
Yes.
We don't see it too often.
Finally. There's an art. I'm going to pronounce it different every time in a video when I bring it up.
Get a like father. So Galkn is that
Galkn?
Correct? That's how you say it. Is it, Jorge? Was I correct? Was I correct on it?
Galkn? Galkn.
Galkn.
Can we hear Michaelo or Laura pronounce this?
In fact, we have it right here. Disappear,
Yes.
disappear. I'm so happy for this.
Yes.
Thank you, Ileana, for bringing this up. Maelstrom representation. I know it's not universal stuff, but man, I miss Maelstrom. I miss it.
Oh
bad.
man,
What
that
a good
ride terrified me.
What a good ride. Galkn.
I can't wait to just sit outside the entrance and hear everyone pronounces. Oh, are you going to the Galkn house? Hey, are y'all going to that Galkn house?
You're gonna say it wrong, and you're gonna do what you did with Goblins last year, where I
know.
caught myself saying
say
that.
it.
Whenever
Goblin.
I was going to that house, I was like, oh, the Goblin house. It is gonna be cold as hell. This is our cold house. Yes, absolutely. And I think this is what I've been thinking about, guys. Always comes back to the food booths in this chat.
Always.
We always. And I know there's this conversation about mead. They've been going hard with mead at Epic. They have multiple meads. Like,
Oh, is that what that is? Okay.
yeah, there's
That
mead.
delicious drink.
Yeah, they have the boysenberry mead, and then they have like Gobber's mead over in Burke, which is very much like it's like I guess mead is kind of like giving that Viking vibe.
That's a spoiler.
Spoiler, it will have
Yes.
one. But yeah, very exciting.
Yeah. So
Very, very exciting.
your initial thoughts when they first announced this today, because I know you were not. Were you paying too much attention when it dropped, or?
I was I kind of I got sidetracked, but then I refreshed. And then I was like, "Oh, this is sick." So I want to read the description on Instagram because there's an actual like bigger description. It kind of goes back to that comment of it, because we didn't quite read the description. For those who don't know what this is, so Galkn, Monsters of the North. In a remote northern village, a wicked being rises from the dead, bringing a horde of monsters and demons from the fjords to wreak havoc on the townspeople. You'll face icy, horned, winged, and wolfish fiends that gradually merge into one giant horror. Then you'll try to escape the belly of the beast. Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa.
This
whoa,
sounds
whoa.
damn good. Like, oh,
Wow.
Sheba's making some noises.
I think, wow, there's so much to break down here. For me, I'm gonna be honest with you, initial thoughts, I was like, damn, this is cool. Like this is cool.
Literally.
Excuse
the pun.
I'm like, this is exactly what I want to see. I know yeah, Alpha Wolf in the photo. But I really love what they're going with. So you have this being that comes out, which I'm guessing is this main
Garaka.
Lady Garaka, which I mean
they're going to repurpose.
Yeah,
to a certain
we spent
degree,
a lot of
but
money
that's
on
cool.
this event.
Yeah.
It's okay. I love the Garaka, so bring it back. But yeah, so we have this being that is bringing together these monsters, and they describe icy, horned, winged, and wolfish. Whoa.
So is that like the wolf transforms into that?
No, well, I'm thinking like maybe we have like werewolf-esque creatures. We have like winged creatures. Like, are we gonna see creatures fly in this house?
Ooh.
Are we gonna have flying like bungees?
Ooh.
Wow. Like, that's what I'm saying. It is one of those things that like it I know we have a wolf animatronic, maybe
Glowing eyes.
Maybe if not animatronic, like definitely some statue like in the background. I will say I would love, and I hope, I'm sure will be on an Unmasking the Horror tour. Like, I can already tell the sets for this are gonna be gorgeous.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, flying creatures. Like, I think that's the vibe that I get. Like I said, winged, horned, wolfish. And I wonder, what are we pulling from, sort of a Norse mythology thing? Because I know there's a question about, like, are we going to see actual Norse gods in here? Or are we going to see, like, original character? Because this seems like an original kind of character. So are we going to see, like, just kind of the inspiration of the town? And then, this is a cool one. Maybe.
Yeah, they usually
they
pop
bring
up
back,
once in a while.
which is cool. Yeah, like, are we gonna see? Because they don't mention anybody by name. They don't mention like Thor or anybody else. But it is like, again, it is interesting. It is one of those interesting things. When I saw this, and this is gonna be not an obscure reference, but those who know, I thought about her. And for those who have never seen Raiders of the Lost Ark, that's the vibe I got from like this picture right here. She gave me that, like, or this character gave me that vibe of like that final ghost from Raiders of the Lost Ark. I don't know. That has nothing to do with the house. That's just a thing I thought of. But yeah. I don't know about God of War like the video game, but I do think, looking at what they did with Dueling Dragons.
Yes.
I keep saying Dungeons and Dragons. It's a thing that I keep.
That's a different event.
Different event. Well, still universal. So when they did that house, I was like, oh, this is like cool. Maybe we get more houses. Maybe we get like Poseidon's Fury, you know, and they referenced it in the audio podcast, and there was obviously Easter eggs. But then we got Goblin's Feast, and I was like, well, it kind of looks like we're spinning off of this medieval kind of
Yes.
fantasy creature idea.
Mm-hmm.
This doesn't feel like it's the same vibe. It does kind of give me the same like setting potentially, but it's more like, again, like more Norse mythology. But again, maybe this leads us into getting, you know, something else like a God of War inspired house or something like that. I guess I don't think we do a IP God of War, but you never know.
Or bringing, you know, Hades back, please.
Bring Hades back. Let's do more mythology. And yeah, I think for me, like the set design, I can already see like just how great some of the set design is going to look. And I can't wait to get into this house right here.
I equally, I'm thoroughly excited for this. When I read that synopsis, first I saw that artwork and I was like, oh, okay. I'm very interested. And then when I read the synopsis, I was like, oh yeah, 100%. This is monsters, you know, mythology. I'm all for it. Cold, yes. And for those who didn't catch us earlier, each one of these announcements on TikTok actually had something kind of different to it. We'll take a look at this one and see just the vibe that it creates. Let's see. So
Damn.
quite scary, I would say. Not very like Nordic music that you would expect, but you can hear sort of that drums, kind of like a ritual.
I hear the wind.
Yeah, the
in the
wind.
background.
Yeah.
And you know, I'm hearing him.
Oh shoot.
Hearing him. I'm hearing that howl. I need to hear that in the house. I need to hear some werewolves howling. Like outside, like imagine that, like the facade, like that's what you're hearing as you're walking up. Ooh. I love that. How to Train Your Dragon. Hey, they heard Epic. They heard we liked it at Epic. So they said, we're gonna give it to you.
Yes.
We're gonna give it to you. I did hear this as well. Like I heard like scream and like kind of like agony, like an agonizing pain. But yeah.
Because some of the villagers are like
being terrorized.
they're getting killed by some of these monsters.
Definitely. I mean, going back to, talked about Hollywood and how Murdy was saying, you know, they want to make it scary. I think Orlando's kind of keeping that same energy where it's like, I don't know. For me, maybe Dolls is going to bring something a little campier. I still kind of in that boat, but it doesn't seem like we have a true blue, like jokey, funny, like house. Like, I don't think any of these really give me that vibe of like, oh, we're not going to take the same. Maybe like Hatcher and Chains, maybe, because that's kind of a little, like, it's a little ridiculous, but like, yeah.
Oh wow. Oh. Yeah, the food is going to be top notch.
It's got to be good. It's got to be.
I can't wait to see what the. I feel like they're just going to reuse the cabin, like that cottage cabin food booth that they've had.
Oh yeah, the one they used for Yeti.
But they're just going to make it like obviously like frozen in a way.
Well, I think what would be kind of cool would be if we did like theme of food booths, like a boat, like a Viking, like a boat, like a crash boat or something. But yeah, I think you're right. I think it has that. I think it has that vibe. Yeah, Terrifier. I mean, that is a little on the sillier side, but
yeah,
it is. It's not lighthearted. It is still gory. It is still gonna freak people out. Like he freaks people out. Like, there are people that get scared by Arthur. Like,
if you don't like clowns, he's certainly not enjoyable.
Yeah, and Fallout. I think for me, I was thinking about this. Like, I think Fallout's like Five Nights. I think those are like the most like entry level houses, like that most people will be able to do, and I don't think it'll be like, oh, you're gonna like it's gonna make a mess in your pants. You know, like, I don't think this was. I don't know what I was trying to say there, but I'm glad that's how it came out. But yeah, bring him over. Bring him over.
Oh,
Bring him here. I have not had them yet.
Oh, Is this for you?
Gonna be scary. What? Hey, you know, that's a debate. I don't know, because like on one hand, I understand the Muppets. Muppets mentioned.
Oh,
That gets a clap, regardless of even if that was a mistype. That's still getting a clap.
a bloody mac and cheese cone. That would be certainly interesting.
Again, we've seen. I mean, for people who've been to Epic, who went to HHN last year, they had stuff from Horror Nights last year at Epic. So what's this? Who's to say they don't bring stuff from Epic over here? A bloody mac and cheese cone. Do what they did with like the Yeti, like poutine, but make it the mac and cheese cone. Come on, bring it back. Bring it back.
Oh yeah, true. That's very much true. Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. Definitely.
It's gonna be like a salmon like mini slider or burger,
or like I mean, that's kind of what it is in Meat Hall. They have that salmon sandwich. Muppet Scare Zone. Is Losh still here? Muppet Scare Zone. Hey, Puppet Theater, just bring it back. We got an anniversary year next year. Puppet Theater. They have the opportunity to do the funniest thing ever.
Salmon jerky. That would be very interesting.
Whoa. That'd be weird. I think we're gonna go through a cave. I think we'll.
Oh,
wrong one.
That wasn't me.
I think we're gonna go through a cave. I think we'll go through some kind of cave. Well, okay. So let's go back to the description real quick. So it says it's gonna merge into one horror. So what does that mean? Is this going to lead all into this one creature? Or is it going to be something completely different? Because there's also this tweet by Mr. Jordan A. Hill.
Yep. Who's always giving us a little bit of extra.
Little tease, right?
We got a big old showstopper in here, and it's a beauty. One of those wow moments that makes HHN, and not Horror Unleashed. But yeah, big old showstopper. That is very interesting.
Yeah.
We don't exactly know 100% right where this is going. I mean, it's rumored to be one of the new tents, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like where Goblins was?
Yes. Which that excites me in the idea that they can really push the potential of this, but also, I mean, in a soundstage, this would be great. I think in a soundstage, it would have made more sense because of the fact of the temperature control, especially. I mean, those tents can get cold, but like the sound stages, man. I mean, there was a comment of here getting sick because of knowing how cold these sound stages are. Like, understandable. But yeah. So the wow moment, and this idea of this belly of the beast. Are we going to get eaten? That's interpreting it very literally.
How big can this thing get?
You never know. Because we had a giant bug in one of those old sprung tents. That was a giant, huge thing. You look up and you're like, oh my god. So you never know. But like, definitely think like merging into one horror makes it really, really interesting. It makes me wonder, going back to the cave thing. Like the cave is like maybe the lair of whatever this creature is. So I don't know. But that is interesting. And it's like one of those things. It's a tease, right? It's not meant to be like this is what it is, but it's something to get us thinking about it. It did say one show-stopping moment or moments. A big old showstopper. So maybe like one big moment that we can think about. Or multiple, you never know. But
where the rumored soundstages houses?
A lot of IPs.
A lot of IPs, yeah. They're doing that again.
And that's typically kind of the nature of what they're doing. Like they usually do most of our IPs go in those sound stages, and then we do um, originals in the tents. It's kind of just how it always goes. Um, and usually, sound stages are reserved for like one or two IPs or
Yeah.
originals. Um, so and I believe it would make the most sense to put Spanish Haunting in a soundstage just because of how big the setting is. You have the big facade, you need big tall sets, or full on. If you're gonna pull off all those effects that they mention, you need to do it in a soundstage. But the rest is, I mean, that's just I guess we don't think it's about anything right now. It's that locations can change, even things that are kind of being thrown around are just guesses. So we don't have any proof of anything yet, quite yet. Because we're not like Hollywood, though. We don't have facades that are just visible, and we don't have John Murdy, who can just tell us where things are going. shout out to John Murdy.
He just openly is like, yeah. You're spot on with that one.
And yeah, just gonna pop this in right here. If you're doing the live stream, tap the like button, subscribe. Like, comment, subscribe. To Zombie Chris
And Dreamport
Productions. You already know what's coming next. Sound effect incoming. Oh, sorry. I had to throw that out there for you guys.
What'd you do?
They knew what I did. They knew what I did.
I was not looking. What did he do, chat?
Keep missing it. They know what I did. They know what I did. What are we thinking? What are we thinking in general of this announcement? In the chat, are we like a yay or nay? Or do you have a poll out there?
I was doing a poll.
Okay.
So yeah.
But yeah. Poll out there. Sorry, I didn't mean to frighten you guys too bad. But I'm just getting you guys ready for the event. But will they ever use the area from Last of Us? Not anytime soon, because the parade is currently using that location. So yeah, parade is using that. I believe the old, because the way the parade buildings were when they last used them, they filled us a little bit on the unmasking tour. So we had two buildings. The old parade building, which is mostly where they held the Universal Monsters houses. They did Trick or Treat there. They did Graveyard Games there. That's the old building. The other building's the new building where they had the Weekend Last of Us on the other side. Old parade building was, I believe they were both half and half. I want to say one side used Christmas and the other was Mardi Gras for the Christmas parade, because they keep those floats all in there. Maybe the balloons. And they both of them use only one half of that building for the houses. Yes. And I believe now the old building is housing Mega Movie. The old building that is closer to the route, because that building is closer to the actual parade route, so they can roll that out, because they have to roll those floats out each and every day for Mega Movie. The other one, I believe, is where they moved to Christmas. So that building there, I think, is fully used for Christmas. So I don't think we are getting true. I don't think we are going to see those parade building houses again for the foreseeable future, unfortunately. As much as I love them, I know you guys love them. Unfortunately, I don't think it is going to happen.
Yeah.
But it is just something we can only hope at some points that maybe they build another parade warehouse or something in the future, and they can store those floats elsewhere. Maybe we can go back to those houses, or maybe we, I don't know. Maybe we start using other sound stages again. Maybe we don't, change our locations up. But yeah. Scare Zone's announced this week. I think we're gonna have a little bit of a break.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little break.
As a week goes. I think I could see us getting maybe an IP, because it's been a minute since we've had an IP, a couple weeks. Jason was the last one, and that was a few weeks ago. But yeah, I don't think Scare Zones, I think, would come afterwards once we get kind of the IPs done.
Everyone does. Oh, sorry.
Area behind MIB more.
Yeah.
The MIB tent or the original sprung tents, because the MIB tent hasn't been used in a long Um, and the new tents, and I know we enjoyed Goblin's Feast. We enjoyed
Oh yeah,
Bloodlines.
we like
I
that
know you
little
enjoyed
area,
it more than
except
me,
for
but
at night. That was our only
yeah,
complaint.
because it's that offensive blue like construction light,
That they
and
put right in the middle. That's just like,
where you cannot avoid it, and they
especially
have
like
it.
going through the queue. When you would turn one way, you're like, oh, I'm good. And then when you turn the other way to come back, that light is just,
Just
it's like,
shining,
God.
and then it's also just corral. It's uncovered, so if it's raining, you're screwed. It's just open, exposed. The fans are nice. The fans are
Yeah.
nice. When you get access to those fans, those big fans, Universal's got those are nice fans. But at the same thing, and then once it gets like it's hot, so you got all these people standing around, stink,
It's,
sweat,
it's just that sun cooking you.
heat, and then at nighttime it's just humid. So not saying the other lines are a lot better. I mean, obviously, but the lights and just like it felt more cramped than the other
Yeah.
like. So like if you could do like I'm gonna say this right now and just in general, regardless of what anything that happens here this year, do these houses during Stay and Scream. Do them during Stay and Scream. Do them during Stay and Scream. Do them early and get them done so we don't have to see them and you don't have to be in that queue. Now, granted, I know everybody wants to go to the front. And listen, do that, right? Save them for the end of the night. Save them for the end of the night, too, because those are houses that usually, I mean, at the very least with last year, if you have like, um, those houses there, I mean, obviously, whatever's there this year might be different, but those houses aren't usually super popular, especially because they're in the back, and it's a pain to get back there. Like, it is a
Mm,
walk to and from it's a lot of walking just to get back to that main hub, but I like that hub. Obviously
yeah.
pulling a little bit from Hollywood from the H lot, the way they do that.
Put a food booth back there.
Put a food booth back there, or put like a twisted tater cart or
Oh,
something.
yeah. Something that you can eat while you're in that
Something quick,
long line.
something.
But
I don't like the sulfur smell. I don't really want to have that smell in with food, but maybe like I don't know. Maybe like on the way there before you get too far back there,
yeah.
like maybe before you turn that corner, maybe they have a little food cart set up or something. I know they have drink carts out there.
Yeah, they have a drink cart. Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, no, I love the tent. I love those new tent. I mean, I'm a sprung tent guy. I love sprung tent houses. I always will say I love the sprung tent house. I have a thing in my heart for the sprung tent houses. I don't know why.
Hmm.
A lot of my favorite houses have been in sprung tents. Not saying the soundstage are bad. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. Love those soundstage houses when you hit. Ooh, they hit. But sprung tents, old reliable. That little stain scream situation last year. So much. So I never wanted to do New York Stay and Scream. Absolutely not. You could ask anybody I went to the event with. Be like, nope, I'm in the back. I will do Goblin's Feast like 4 or 5 times before they even hits 5 o'clock.
Oh, man.
Sitting in back of the bus vibes, exactly. You're just chilling. You have your crew back there. You have my goblins. I have my classic monsters. I have my cinema. I have my museum. I loved all those houses. Well, at least I didn't love all those houses, but I loved 3 of those houses. I enjoyed monsters, but
And speaking of monsters, good old John Murdy hit us with something today.
what do you hit us
Yes, he hit us with. Oh. Oh, I had one job and I messed it up. He hit us with
3.
Monstros 3. The queens, the ladies,
The ladies.
all the single ladies. Well, they are back. That's right.
Yeah, Monstros 3.
And I was just thinking about my good old friend right in the front, La Llorona.
Oh yes.
Yes. I've seen her so many times in Hollywood because she hangs out in the courtyard area and she is creepy. She will come up, she'll take a photo with you, but she is creepy. And I got to see her house over in Hollywood, which I really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that I get to see her again.
Monstros Vision 3D. So, wait, hold on. I'm finding the description for this. So we can get the description for those who don't know. I mean, if you follow the event, you know what Monstros is, but if you don't, Monstros 3, one whales, one bites, one beguiles, La Llorona, La Melona, and La Ciguanaba. I think I said that right. Await in the dark, three legends La Muerte wants you to meet, but you wish you never did. So we are getting La Llorona back again,
Mm-hmm.
returning one more time.
Yes.
And we are then going to see I think it's which one? Siguanaba? Who's the one with the horse head? The one over here that we saw before. Um and the other one back here with the smile. Um but um
I will say some of these, the mask in the picture, they do look like the things that I've seen in Monstros 1 and 2. Like it looks like they just took it and put like added, the hair texture or something. So am I to believe that we've seen some of these creatures before, right?
yeah. I
Okay.
mean, they've been the other one, like I said, the one in the back, I'm not sure if we've seen that one before.
Mm-hmm.
Seen them or the other two I think we've obviously like Your Honor, we've seen before.
Yeah.
But the other one, and you're more because you've been and you've seen the other two houses. So you let us know how you feel about this, and then I'll talk from the back from the
Oh man,
sidelines.
I feel like I have such a rich history with Monstros. I was there. Like I said, I got to see La Llorona as a house before they had Monstros. Then they brought Monstros. Then I went back again, saw that. Then I saw Monstros 2 and Orlando's version, which is pretty much was a copy and paste in my opinion, but still not as good as Hollywood. So now I'm back again with Monstros, which I guess it just feels like it's a part of the Hollywood package. Like it would be no difference of like our event having Slaughter Cinema. Like it just comes with the event where you're like, oh yeah, it's given. We're gonna have that goofy, Yeti house. We're gonna have that goofy Western house. It just feels a part of it. So you just accept the punches and roll with it. It could be good. It could be a fun house, or it could just be like,
repeat.
oh yeah, that's what I was thinking because it looked like that mask to me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. That is interesting. I'm curious because for one, again, from the sidelines, I like that this collection of monsters has a kind of a theme. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're all ladies, which is great. I know John already made a point to talk about this. That it is a all female crew, which is cool. Kind of playing off of Eternal Bloodlines. Also, if you see me looking down, I'm looking for John Murdy's tweets because he has been tweeting a little bit about this house, and I want to find some more information. But yeah, so obviously I like that part. I think that's cool. Again, cool to keep that going, keep that trend going. And I like that it's the ghost of Latin America instead of the monsters. Last
Yeah.
year was I think the nightmares, which was kind of like the theme of like El Cucuy kind of made sense because he was the nightmare like in your dreams and as like like haunting little kids. Whereas the other two were kind of just I feel like they were kind of just there,
Yeah.
And of course, the original three that we got in Orlando, which I will say I enjoyed last year's house. Like, I look back at that house, our version, because unfortunately I'm not seen the Hollywood version, but I have seen Orlando's version.
Mm-hmm.
I really loved parts of our house. Like there were parts of it, animatronic at the end. What was going on there? But then the Stillwalker scare at the end actually scared the mess out of me. Like that on multiple occasions, that Stillwalker was doing it. Yeah.
How would he turn his head?
Oh man, you should go go to animatronic design, Chris. but yeah, so it's one of those things of like Nightmare of Greed. Okay, I didn't know that was. I didn't know that was a. That's right. Let's get that back this year. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't know that this was a nightmare item. Um,
Okay.
for me, El Kukui was like the main one. Either way, like I like that they're following this kind of theme. It feels more connected than it did
Yes.
last couple in terms of like
Yeah. It
this is
felt
the
very
grand.
scattered.
This
Yeah.
is the end of the series. This is the final one
Yeah.
of the trilogy.
That's what I gathered, that this was like the finale.
At this
Like,
point, it is kind of for many, it has kind of run its course. I know not everybody feels that way. Like I said, I enjoyed last year's house. I think what they did with that first house was really great in terms of like they gave us these big puppets, these big sets, these big animatronics. They told the story, they gave us the detail. And the second time around, it seemed like they just kind of reused a lot from that first house, into the point where you do diminish it. Like it diminishes. It's like, it sounds really silly, but like it's like when you drive a car off of the lot and it's like worth half the value because you're used it. And
Yeah.
that's kind of how I felt about that house, where it's like, okay, so you've made this isn't as nearly as impactful because you've already done this compared to all this. And it makes me wonder, with La Llorona, that house was very well loved.
mhm.
Very well loved. Many people that went that year said that was either the best house or one of the best houses. Yeah, that should have been, honestly. Um, but yes, so I think it is it is something that I I liked some of the aspects of last year's house in terms of like, again, what I saw on videos and everything. But there were certain aspects that I'm like, okay, I felt like this was maybe not put with as much care as it could have been.
Yeah.
However, this year, it makes me wonder if, are we just going to get reused La Llorona scenes? Are we going to get other scenes coming back? Are we going to get new scenes with these characters? Like, is La Llorona
That's
going to
true,
get a
yeah.
new set? Like, it could be a new set of characters. But John Murdy has stated, location is Parisian Courtyard. We're going back to the cemetery. He describes the facade is that we're painting the camera to focus on a different part of the cemetery each year, and of course, they're building it currently in the park. We're going to Mexico, Central, and South America, and Muerte is back, and this time you'll meet his pet. What is that?
Oh. Hmm.
Getting another dog, another pet, or is it going to be
Another.
something else? Cat? I don't know. A fish?
Hmm.
A turtle? Maybe, I don't know what this guy's. But yeah, so let's see. The last real thing was that, obviously, it being a small people cast, but yeah, Island of the Dolls. Now, here's the thing. Let's back up. Here's the thing. This is the end of Monstros. This does not mean this is the end of Latin American houses at the point I tell them. This does not mean we're going to move into something else. Unfortunately, as much as I think many people want it to be kind of the finale, it is it likely isn't. So we could still see Island of the Dolls, but Monstros as a brand, like Monstros, the blank of Latin America, I think is done. Which is interesting because we have basically the way that last house we just talked about from Orlando translates to monsters of the North.
Mm.
And that reminds me a lot of Monsters of Latin America, even though it's a different story, different theme.
Yeah.
But it just kind of reminded me of that. Chris, how do you feel about this?
His pet is then.
That's the twin. That's the evil twin.
Oh wow! Yeah.
That's the evil twin
Yep.
of Muerte.
Yeah. To describe
La
my
vida.
feelings of when I turned that corner and saw that. That was I don't know if I was more
Lash.
disappointed in that or disappointed when I walked out of triplets. I don't know. That's
More disappointed
That's a
in
hard
that.
one.
When I saw that with Losh the first time, when we did the house the first time together, both of us hadn't seen it before. I just kind of laughed. I was just kind of like, whoa. And then I immediately got scared by the giant stilt walker just outside. So I was like, okay, let me stop. But yeah, I was waiting for him to jump out too. I thought it was like, oh, it's just like a rigid like scare actor. And then they're gonna lean back and do this.
I think I screamed out, "Por qué? Por qué?"
Hoping at some point we get all Latin American Houses of Horror Unleashed.
Yeah.
Again, what did I say?
You're
What did I
calling
say?
it. You're
I
calling
think
it right now.
I was shocked they didn't do it originally, just because it is so popular in Hollywood. Now, does it have the same popularity in Orlando? A lot of people did like that house in Orlando. A lot of people I did
Surprisingly,
notice
yeah.
put it fairly high on the list at the end.
I'll say the food booth
Food booth. Ooh.
was
The
top
food
notch, man.
booth. The monster.
I think I ate there twice. That was that. I was like, yeah, I got to get this
You
one
went
more
back.
time.
We went I ate there once, and the chicken skewer is essentially what they have in Dark Universe in
Yes.
DOS. And I'm like, I'm so glad, because that was like one of my favorite items from HHN last year. Like, as far as actual food items go, probably that was my favorite. As far as that and the triplets burger were both my favorite, but I think that item was the best. I only did triplets once out of the 3 nights I was here. Yeah.
Well, that's all you needed to do, just to see
Uh-oh.
it once. You know, it's like rip off the Band-Aid and then go on
Always
your
gotta
merry way.
Always got to circle back to the food booths, but I want to circle back to this. I liked it better than Hollywood.
Ooh,
Wow.
tough, man. Tough.
That's a big claim. And you know what? Hey,
Wow.
I could see,
The only way I'm gonna say,
potential.
for me, the
It is.
Hollywood actors, they just make it that much more
Sure.
than Orlando, just because
Sure.
they're a little more fierce over in Hollywood.
Sure, but Orlando's was expansive.
Yeah.
You go into the cemetery, you walk into the soundstage, you see the entrance of the cemetery, you go into the cemetery, and then you're going in. Like, for me, one of the most successful parts of that house was from the cemetery. Of course, sometimes when it would be out, it's very similar to the facade in Hollywood, but it was
Yeah.
actually, for me, it felt more, I don't know. Again, I never experienced a Hollywood version, but like, for me, it felt like I was actually going into like a mausoleum, because I was inside of a place.
Okay.
It wasn't like out exposed, right? So I felt like I was going into a place. And then the scene that I feel like gets the most overlooked, and there's nothing that happens in the scene. Just after this, you have these tall buildings, and you're snaking between the alley before you get to La Huepuchi first section.
Yeah.
You see the poster, you see the stroller there, and you see the tall buildings, and it's kind of sets you up for it. And I think it's one of those things that, like, that I think did it really well. And that's what I loved about Chupacabras, that snaking through the alleyways and kind of like in the outskirts of the town. That's what I loved. And that plaza scene where they had the fireworks going off and there's all the stuff, even though there's no scare there, like, it was just such a great scene in terms of design. And then also in Monstros Orlando, the finale with all 3 of them coming out, and then the statue scare. Like, there's so much. Yeah, exactly. Like that. Yeah, I believe she was there sometimes.
Yeah.
So it was like one of those things that, like, the sets. Yeah, I liked them more because the sets were better. Like, the ending in the cemetery. Like, you don't just end with, I believe you ended with El Simón in the original in the sack.
Yeah.
You visited his sack. In Orlando, you ended in the cemetery. You ended basically where you started. And I thought that was a great way of kind of tying it together and doing that, because we didn't really go into his sack of bones in Orlando. We go through it, but we didn't go inside of it. But I like that was sort of the ending of it. So I could see that the sets being bigger. I could see that being a draw, because it wasn't a soundstage. It was a full-on soundstage house. I went to that house 10 times. Great to me in Orlando. It seems like people in the chat loving the Orlando version. Hey.
I was the only one that actually liked it out of our group. I think I was one of the only ones I was like, yeah, I enjoyed this. And everyone else was like, oh, we don't really like this. And I was like, oh,
damn. First Monstros in Hollywood versus Chupacabras Orlando. You're the only one out of both of us who's done both. So I can't pick, because I technically haven't done Hollywood. But
ooh, for me, it's Monstros in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
I think the cool part, like you were talking about how Orlando's like facade, in that lead up. Hollywood, I think it's cool too because of
Yeah.
the way they have the live actor and just the thunder and the lightning and the way it looks like you're outside, like
You're right on the street,
outside,
too.
literally like in the grave. It almost feels like
Yeah.
you are like outside in the elements.
Yeah.
And it's very creepy when you're walking because it's the entrance very slowly. And then he turns around and he's just doing like this thing of like staring right at you while he's talking.
Yeah.
It just gives you chills before you even get into the house.
It has this really cool effect that I think all the houses that are there do. It's like that, like it's in the street of the park. Like it's like in the middle of the park. It's not back alley or some stage or in a tent or something that you have to like go and sit. Like that is one thing that I will always say. Hollywood facades, live actors, man. I wish we had more of that, where you would have act because like damn near every facade in Hollywood has a live actor in front.
Mm-hmm.
Texas Chainsaw had one in front. Dead Exposure had one in front. Monstros had one in front. Eternal Bloodlines had one in front.
And the weekend, that was a big one of having the two alternate and like he interacts with the crowd.
Yeah. So it's like, and Jason has already been confirmed to have some actor in front. So it's like, I love that Hollywood does that. Now, granted, it's different here because it rains all the time, and you know, and
it'd just be funny. It's like, nope, gotta go.
Put up the umbrella. You're like, and then do the scare.
Is that Jason holding an umbrella?
But yeah, no. But also, I will say chupacabras, and I explain this sometimes, and I feel like sometimes some people get it, and if you have been to Horror Nights for a while, you probably understand. At least, even if you went 1 year, you probably understand. For me, there are houses that I think are my favorite, right? I got my houses that I'm like, oh, I love this. This is my number one pick. The best house of the event, in my opinion. Right? But then I have houses, and there's always one. That's my baby. Chupacabras was my baby house. That was that house that I was like, nobody cares about this. I care about this. Like, I love that house. Where I was like, that was like one of those houses that I first was like, I love this. Now, I did have a close friend of mine who worked in a house. So I think that was also part of it too, that I was there fairly often. And so that was a part of it. But that house, Dueling Dragons, when they did that one, that was a house that I always did for Stay and Scream. After a while, I did Stranger Things first, but then mostly it was like after a while it was Dueling Dragons. And I did that house all the time. Museum last year, where most people were like, oh no, this is the worst house. And for me, I was like, I've loved it, and I had good run like every time. And I got solo runs in that house. Same thing with Goblins. Goblins is another example of like one of those houses that I'm like, I love this. And I think like Chupacabras has always been that for me. So I'm always gonna have a soft spot in my heart for that house. But yeah. Sometimes we do have actors. Yeah, there are actors in. It's different because in our outdoor facades, I should say, because like I mean, technically Muerto was in that first one, right?
Yeah.
We've had. I'm thinking of like for some reason Wicked Witch from Scary Tales. You know, she's in there like right when you walk in a facade. I'm trying to think. Insidious. I mean, the guy pacing back and forth in front of the house. You know, so we have that. It's
just not. And why are we forgetting the biggest one in Hollywood that we got to experience? Well, I got to see The Last of Us.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they're not live talking, they're still acting out the scene in front of the house. Yeah, that was a big, big one.
Right. And that's why I'm like, I would love to see that that idea happen here. And I think like it's just it's one of those things. Like for me, and I found this when I was making my facade video of kind of like how these facades work with live actors, because it is interesting because an actor being there, even if they're just Texas Chainsaw, that guy was just walking around.
Yeah, creepy.
That sometimes will do it sometimes, where it's like you don't need it to be a scare, you don't need them to be doing this elaborate acting performance. Sometimes it's just they act creepy. They turn around, they walk around, they stalk, the area, and that's enough. So like sometimes that is enough to really make it, to sell it. I'm trying to think of other Orlando examples of recent, of like in the first scene of a house or facade. Um, I'm genuinely trying to think. Hell Block, I think, had one because the guy was out in front with the security,
Yeah.
like that one guy. Um, it's something like that. So I don't know. Yeah, man, it's hard. It's hard to think about all the facades, because there's so many. I mean, oh God, Chupacabras. I completely forgot that she was there in the front there, the mask
That's
maker.
right. Yeah, you're right. The mask maker.
The mask maker. She was literally there, and it was just like kind of a little. It was an accent. It was another little piece of the puzzle, that we got to see. And so, I love that. I love that idea of like when a facade has something, like even if it's effects, like Ghostbusters.
Yep.
You had the thing come out, the smoke come out. You had the rattling of the hot dog cart. You had
Haunting
the
of Hill House as
the
well.
sewer. Yeah, you had exactly things in the windows. And I'm hoping that with some of our facades here, regardless if they're a soundstage or a tent, that we have that. Like Goblin's Feast had like the flickering candles in the windows, the smoke that comes out of the chimney.
Yeah.
You had that sound, quiet meat, will disturb the rest of the cattle. You hear that in that line as kind of a prelude to what you actually see in the house. So yeah, man. Gotta love it. I feel like we covered most everything as far as news updates. I think we talked about everything.
I think so, yeah.
So
are we entering the final?
Well, I think before we get to the final, are we gonna throw out our initial?
Yeah, we can do it.
All right. So what we're looking for, and you guys could let us know in the chat, either if you want to put list down, or if you just have one that you want to talk about. What's your favorite HHN 34 original thus far? Obviously, not thus far. It's all of them. But no, don't worry. We're not done yet. We still have a few more things to do here. But it's just we wanna move away from the update part and talk more about what we have so far. HHN 34 original. Throw it in the chat. And I think, Chris, what are we gonna do?
We're gonna rank our originals so far for this year. Well, now that all 5 have been announced, our hype for them.
Yes, sir. Little preview of the hype list, partially.
Yes, because it's not the full hype list, because things can alter obviously once you add in the other 5 houses. So coming in,
you change your thoughts too.
That's true. I don't know your list at all. You don't know what I was thinking.
No, I'm curious. I want to know.
It's going to be interesting. Let's see. Coming in at
number 5.
Let's
go.
For me, let me see. I wrote it down.
I got to remember the names, because the names are still so fresh. I have to remember the full names.
Coming in at number 5 for me, it is Grave of Flesh. Just as we said earlier, I'm a Cemetery fan, but when you say Underworld, it doesn't speak that Graveyard Games-ish. It doesn't speak that spark in me, and it feels like it might be redundant with these creatures, these flesh eaters. Sure. It feels like it's going to be a scary house, but just out of all the originals, I'm like, this one seems very basic in a way,
Sure. Okay. I'm gonna be boring. My number 5. You already kind of said a lot with this one. I'm also putting Grave of Flesh. Not because all your points exactly the same, and I think it's also for me. It's a point of we have 5, I think, pretty strong originals. I think this one I've changed a little bit of my thought process on already, and that's
Mhm.
what I say about these can change. Like the hype list, like just because I say this now does not mean this is what my final hype list is going to look
Yeah.
like. I've had a couple that have already flipped, have kept flipping. That I'm like, oh man, really like this. Oh, what about this? This one here, I think is pretty comfortable at number 5 for in this category. But also, I like with originals. I just love originals. I love original houses. They always do such a great job with them. So like, I'm like, man, I think Grave of Flesh could be really cool, but again, it could be kind of redundant. But I think we've seen what they can do with graveyards, and I hope that with these creatures they make it do it. Also, DC, you did not miss the live. We're still live in.
Yeah, what are you talking about, DC?
We're still talking. But yeah. Shout out to DC Thrills.
DC.
I'd throw him a little air horn. But yeah, I think Grave of Flesh is probably pretty comfortable at my number 5.
Yeah. And that brings us to number 4. Let's see.
Now I'm curious.
Let's see. Can you guess what my number 4 would be? Could it be Hatchet?
I think because of the fact of I know what you don't like, or not what you don't like, but I know what more you
gravitate towards.
I think I know, but we'll see.
All right.
I want you to reveal it, and then
here we go. Number 4 for me is
not what I would have guessed.
Dolls. Let's Play Dead.
Not what I would have guessed.
This depends on how this can go. This could be, from what I've heard today, not quite what I was expecting. Very different. And I think a lot of people who keep saying Dollhouse of the Dam, I love that house. I'm excited for this one. You might be disappointed, or you might just be like,
really
oh,
impressed.
that was cool. It was different. Not quite what I was expecting. For me, I'm a Dollhouse of the Dam fan, and I wanted, obviously, a sequel to that. I don't think this is it. And plus, they're playing around with this idea of, is it Cindy? Is it not? Maybe we'll see more out of this house, like more teases, closer we get to the event, and it might change for me. We know they generally will tease a lot of stuff. Like last year, we got to look at a lot of stuff from Goblins and a lot of stuff from the Scare Zone. So that stuff will alter, our hype list as it goes on. So for me, I'm not excited to play with dolls. Yeah.
All right. So for me, hold on.
Ooh, let me.
For me, number 4.
Oh man,
I'm gonna end up
joining.
kind of on the same wavelength. Dolls Let's Play Dead.
Yeah.
Now this is I promise we did not talk about the list beforehand. That's right. Look at you on the sound effects. I like that one. No, but Dolls Let's Play Dead again. I think you kind of said everything I wanted to say. Like it could be one thing or the other. I do think if they go the route that I'm hoping for, I said this before, I want a campy house. Like I want this to be silly. I think it has the nature to be silly. It has the potential to be silly. But just because it's silly does not mean it can't be scary. Just looking at Dollhouse of the Damned, that house on the surface is absolutely ridiculous in concept, but they show you some really twisted, messed up things in there. And I think like that is what I would want out of this house. Like I'm not expecting something super serious. I'm not expecting to take things too seriously. But it's one of those things that I'm just like, I'm curious. And it could go either way for me. But I am excited. I'm excited for this because I never went to Dollhouse of the Dam. So even if it is slightly like that, I'm very curious. But I hope it's something different. I hope it's not just Dollhouse sequel. Also, DC, maybe we're at number 4. Now it's number 3.
Number 4.
Now at this point, I think I knew, but at this point, I have no clue.
You think
For
you
you.
know my lineup. All right.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 3 for me. Ooh, where is it? It is Hatchet and Chains Demon
Hatchet and
Bounty Hunters.
Chains.
Quite interesting for me to be a number 3,
Yeah, exactly.
considering I'm a Knott's fanboy. Like, I love Knott's. I love the Western houses there. You know, potentially this house can be campy, but I also think it can be a fun house. And I think of the way Ghostbusters was fun. This could be that kind of element of it's a fun house that's in a tin house where I enjoyed the museum house. I kind of get the gist that this could be like that, where it's like a cool house where if the wait times are low, I can see myself going over here, especially because Dreamport's probably, loves this house, or he probably will love it and we'll
I
probably
don't know.
end
We
up
don't know
going
yet.
through many run throughs of it. But I think they can take what they learned from Slaughter Cinema and expand on it even further in that scene. I mean, if I based my thoughts from that one scene, it's just like, it's okay, but now what can you do with a full-fledged house of this? Can you expand upon the demons? Can you give us different demons, different effects? Like, I think there's potential here. So, number 3 for me, Hatchet and
Slaughter.
Chains.
Excellent. Excellent. Number 3, and I think this is where our lists
Uh-oh.
converge.
Oh, nope,
Go
not
elsewhere.
number
Nope, that's
2.
number
Not
2.
number 2.
Number 3 for me. It's honestly okay. The last two I was excited for. Don't get me wrong, but curious about.
Uh-oh.
Next 3 though, this is where we're cooking. This is where we're
Oh,
cooking.
man.
Out of these
I'm
3,
going to take a guess.
take a guess. I'm curious to see. Keep it
I'm
to
going to
yourself.
say, I think I know.
You think you know?
I think I know.
I think you know too. But we're gonna go with our most recent announcement:
Oh, I
Galkn,
called it. That's what I
Monsters
was
of the
thinking.
North. Our
Oh,
most
man.
recent drop. With this one here, I love mythology houses. I love houses that deal in history and culture. And I think this is cool because it's a region we have never explored. I think it is a region we have not quite tapped into yet. It looks cold. It looks like the scenic's gonna be there. I think we have potential for something really cool here. And I was worried because I'd been hearing, up until this point, and I've been hearing that this idea, and it did kind of remind me of this at first. This being kind of almost like Goblin's Feast, which love Goblin's Feast. I did not want Goblin's Feast for this house. I wanted Goblin's Feast to be its own thing. And because it is kind of mythological, kind of fantasy elements, I kind of got that vibe. Even like Dueling Dragons, I think it's a little too silly for the kind of house that this could be. I think if they take it serious, if they play it right, give us some real sets, some real effects, some monsters, some really good creature design. I think we could be seeing a really, really excellent house here. That might be number 1 by the end. You don't ever know. That's the thing. There's so many houses here that, like Ike said, I'm really excited for the next 3. So number 3 pretty easily gonna be Galkn, Monsters of the North.
Monsters of the North, man. Those
Everybody,
monsters ain't going to be too happy with.
hey, I'm not from the North. I'm from the South. So give us the Florida cryptids. Anyway,
Coming in at number 2. Oh, man.
Number 2. What's it gonna be? I think I know. I think I know where the rest
tough
is going.
one. Jeez, this is tough.
At this point, we only have 2 left. So
Yeah, but they're 2 bangers.
Two
based
bangers.
upon the artwork, based upon the hype,
description, the
the
hype.
idea, the description.
Hype is.
Oh, it's going to kill
hype
me.
is real.
I'm going to eat these words later. I know it.
Uh-oh.
Number 2 for me,
Ooh,
the Galkn experience.
Galkn.
The Galkins. Wow. Yeah. Like you said, snow, monsters, mythology. It's pretty much everything I would want in a house. It's just very hard to compare it to number one,
Yeah.
because one is catering to the entire event as a whole and the theme, and one is kind of like what we got with glimpses of houses before, like you said, Gates, Hades, and the museum last year. So a bit of those pieces, and then, the frozen backdrop, lots of monsters, Sheba the Wolf. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy this house. I'm going to be so sad if I walk out of this house and I am not happy. But I don't see that happening. I think there's going to be something in here that I'm going to be like, oh yeah, I love this one scene, or I love this one thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, number 2 for me. That wolf is very disappointed.
All right. So number 2 for me. This one. Yeah. At this point, you kind of have showed your hand here.
Might be a secret one.
See, secret mystery one. Number 2 for me. These two were hard.
Oh man,
These were hard to pick because these two have been flip flopping for the past week of what I'm gonna do. And
yeah, what are you gonna do here,
and I
man?
gotta go with my gut. Little jump scare for y'all. 45 in the chat. Number 2, I gotta go with El Artista, a Spanish hunting.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Ouch.
This one here,
Ouch.
just like the sets, the scenery, the ghosts, the effects. Sergio as our icon, not icon, whatever. Like the rollout for this was something special.
See,
Well, something
that's him coming
special.
out right
Yeah,
now.
there he is right there.
He's disappointed. He's
getting
writing
ready.
down Dreamport's name on the list.
Hey, he's gonna be my costume for Premium Scream Night, so it's okay. But yeah, so I am excited. Don't get me wrong. Like this one here again, flip flop, back and forth forever, and I love what we're seeing. But like, there's just something about my number 1, which I'm sure you can guess what it is. We'll talk about it when we get there. That just takes that step forward for me. But at the same time, love what they're doing with this house. Love that we're getting a ghost haunted house. I like that we're getting a haunted house. Ghosts are like one of my favorite things. Like as far as like classic Halloween characters and monsters, ghosts are it. Because like there's just something so creepy about it, something so real, like real yet not real, real yet fantastic. And just like the way we're doing this in the art. I love art. I have taken courses in art history before. I've studied art history before. I've studied Goya, and I know Goya is a big inspiration for this house. And I love art and paintings and sculptures and drawings and stuff that I'm just like, I don't know, this could be my number 1. Like I could have made a bad choice, but I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited for this house. Don't get me wrong. But it just can't be my number 1 right now.
Terrible.
Shame,
Well,
shame.
number 1 for me is a surprise one. No, I'm joking.
Surprise.
Number 1, where is
Where's
it?
my number one?
Where is it?
Damn, I like that sound.
I know, like the music, the vines. I can just see the vibe right now.
Damn, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I made a mistake.
Oh man, I'm
Should've-
getting
should've taken
chills
number
right
1.
now. Oh man, I mean, come on. Like Dreamport stole the show. He said everything I was gonna say. Obviously, it tells the story. It's a house that's more than just a maze, and that is the biggest takeaway. A house, generally, like you said, with Insidious is a great haunted house because that's all it is, a haunted house. This is something more. It's telling a story. Like Mike Aiello said, a beginning, a middle, and an end. You don't get that out of houses, especially a haunted house that is what, 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Yeah.
They're explaining an entire story that probably has even more depth, that when we go through, you're going to see something new every time. You're going to explore. Even on the unmasking tour, you're going to learn more secrets about this house. That's more stuff than you can see just during the regular run. So it's going to have that repeat value. Then, let alone, you talk about the beauty of it, the Spanish, horror, like in that clip with the guitar playing, the ghost effects. So it's almost like it is a best of, like, hey, you want a haunted house experience? We got this big house. We got tricks, that we're going to show you, but we're also going to give you something that has beauty and heart in it. I'm this probably high on my list, even more so than the IPs almost. So thoroughly excited for this one. Did you choose wrong?
No, I don't think so. Honestly, I think it's good. I have? Yes, I have it. I have what I want. I have what I want to see.
You have what you want?
And that leads us to number 1, the final countdown. Everybody knows what it is at this point. There's no sugarcoating it.
Ooh.
Damn.
Ooh.
Damn. Hatchet and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters. Guys, when I said, when I went to Slaughter Cinema the first time this last year, or even when it was announced, I my immediate spaghetti westerns zeroed in on that. Whoa, they're putting a western in this? Go through the house. I get in there. I smell the smell. The perfume, like rosy smell. I see the window for the horse's tooth. I'm going in. Demon comes out. Bro comes from behind the counter. The other one is over here wrangling shit up. Whoa. Like, it's like a whole experience, right? And you get this great triple scare, but it also feels like it's a fully fleshed out room. And I was like, here's the thing, right? Okay, that scene is great, right? But how could they extend it to a whole house? And if they do, can it be good, right? Can it be good? They gave us this artwork. I'll put it back on screen right now. Where's it at? They gave us this artwork, and I said, whoa. They gave us this description. Red hot lava demons. We're going through the Wild West town. And this is just like full-on action. Once it gets started, it doesn't stop. That's how I felt in that scene. And that's what I need from this house. I need them to keep the energy. Because if they keep the energy here, it is literally like Wild West vibes. Like, full-on. Like, going crazy. Going ballistic. And I think that's exactly what I want. That's the only way this house would disappoint me, is if they take it slow. No. I don't need Ghost Town. I don't need Dead Man's Pier. I don't need Darkest Day. I don't need a build-up. I need to get in there and they're saying, hey, y'all, there's a demons running around. Let's get them. Let's bring them up. And that's what I need. That's what I need. And so I just think like, and it's I understand, the idea of, yeah, maybe people wanted Mardi Gras, maybe people wanted the heavy metal hell. But at the same time, like, I wanted to see this. And I didn't think this would be the pick, honestly. When I heard they were going to do Slaughter Cinema, and everybody, kind of assumed they were going to do a Slaughter Cinema sequel. It's kind of just been the case over the years. I was like, oh, they're going to go with one of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you can tell A&D wanted to do this house. You can tell, like, Charles Gray, Mike, they were like, they're from that generation of like Westerns being a big thing. And it's like one of those things that the environment is just so cool that you can do. And you can go for it. And this is the first time we've gotten a direct sequel spinoff to Slaughter Cinema. Because Yetis, yes, they were there, but that was the Swamp Yeti. They're different, right? It was not just, hey, we're going to take Attack of the Swamp Yeti and make it a house.
Yeah. This
is straight up. They said, we're just going to use the name, Hatch and Chains Demon Bounty Hunters. we're just creating this world out of these characters, and maybe we see some differences in the costumes and everything like that. But the actual house itself, I need the gunslinging. Well, not guns. They're not using guns. They're using their mythical weapons. They're hatchets and chains. But I need that action. I need that, and the potential for that excites me because we don't get original houses with that kind of energy all the time. That's kind of what I feel from those Yeti houses. That's the one thing I will say. Those Yeti houses are like,
Oh yeah.
they start and they're like, okay, we're gonna take you for a ride. That's why people love them so much, I think. And that's what I want. I want to be like, go ahead, take me. And there's so many things they could do with this that I'm like, and while I love El Artista, I love the Spanish haunting. I think it's just this just really does it for me. I don't know. It's because I was such a fan of that movie and I was like, this is kind of the wish fulfillment thing of like, oh, this is exactly what I wanted to see. Or it's something else, but for me, number one, it's gotta be these guys.
Mm.
And that could change. By the time the actual hype list comes out, you never know. You never know. But that's just me. But that's why we do these lists, and that's why I like doing this here, because everybody's got their own opinions. I'm gonna go back and see if I can find some folks who put their opinions in here. OG El Artista, IP FNAF. Obviously, we're kind of more on original topic. El Artista. Galkn. Yeah. Jorge, number 1 Galkn, number 2 HHN Chains, 3 El Artista, 4 Grave, 5 Dolls. Number 5 Dolls. DC had a comment here about Grave. Very interesting.
Oh, wow.
Might be scary as hell in person. Very true. Very true. Especially if those guys are tall. Like, they get tall scare actors. Or if they, like, snake around. Like, if they're, like, Red Demon-esque, where they just jump out. El Artista. So DC, unfortunately, that was an unfortunate. You were close. You were close.
Guessed wrong.
3 El Artista, Grave number 3, HHN Chains number 2, Chris going artist for number 1. So yeah, I feel like that's Vanessa threw it in here. 5.
Oops.
Sorry. 5 Grave, 4 Hatchet, 3 Monsters, 2 Dolls, 1 El Artista.
Yay!
Like everybody's hyped about the Spanish haunting. I feel like that's gonna be that one. I think that's gonna be the house this year, y'all. I think that's gonna be the one that's like,
It's gonna be.
whoa, that's the house. But yeah, I think now is good time as any for the final.
The final.
The final moments before the afterlife is here. If you wish to ask us any questions, do so right now.
All right, final Q&A. We could still carry over from the previous section, but I feel like, ooh, I always forget that you have music on here. How do you feel about the construction? Isn't much yet. I don't know. What specifically are we asking about? The trusses or
the truss, or the like construction so far, like the progress, because it's going to ramp up.
Yeah, of course. Hollywood construction is going hard.
Yeah,
they're going hard.
Big.
That Jason facade looks good. I like that.
Yep.
Abundance of lighting and facade work. So we'll see probably more facade stuff later. I mean, I'm assuming, this is my guess, because we saw facades fairly early last year because of the early tours. I mean, our tour is in less than 2 months. We are going to be in HHN haunted houses in less than 2 months. Less than 2 months, y'all. We will be in it, which is crazy.
And I'll be broke in a couple weeks. So.
Well, we're already there. Premium Scream Night tickets already bought. Have you seen K-pop Demon Hunters movie? I think spiritually good work for HHN House. I've not seen that. I've not seen that movie. Have you seen that movie? K-pop Demon
No,
Hunters movie?
I have not.
I mean, I'm sure. Hey, they're pulling from Netflix. We've seen the Netflix is not just Stranger Things.
Probably
Right,
not.
Probably not.
I think those things have been asked to come back every year, and they never do.
No, it's just kind of in the past. Like it's kind of like HHN in the
It's
past.
like that Chance peanut butter and jelly,
Like that
hell
was like
or sandwich or
no chance in hell.
yeah, no chance in hell.
Will there be 3 scary and scream areas? We don't know. We don't know where.
We'll
where
have
the
to
Scream
wait
area
and
is.
see. Opening weekend is going to be very interesting because I have a feeling they're not going to like mention
No.
this on the website. We're just going to
They're
get
just
there
gonna
and
go.
be like, where do we got to go? It's going to be just confusion for everyone.
Hoping we get to see more House of Sods and your Simpsons behind. Sure. I mean, that's a great little place. I mean, love to see those houses. Just don't
Yep.
sneak back there.
Yeah.
Just go to the Simpsons exit, or
Just see it with your own eyes, but I wouldn't advise taking a picture.
Any songs on your wish list for the park-wide music during the event? No, but I would like to hear some Midnight Syndicate. I've said this
Yes.
before. Like, give me that creepy gothic classical like era. Maybe
Yeah.
you could do it up a little, make metal mix if you want to do that, but like keep it classy. I don't want to hear about some dubstep metal electronic stuff like we got last year.
Or just loud headache. Like,
Tetris Large Cinema was last year, the same trust setup. Hey, you never know. You never know what they could do for it.
You never know what it could be.
That's the thing, is it's trusted. So at this point, we
Yeah.
have no.
Every time I see a trust and it just looks weird, I'm like, oh, what's going to be the final thing on this? Like
We
the
had
way it's built.
we had airplane. Remember that airplane? In,
Yeah, that was the
Doom?
weirdest
curved.
thing. We were all
like,
like,
whoa.
what is this thing?
Or the buoy when they did the crane in that one shipyard.
Yeah, shipyard.
Chance of Terrifier at both Hollywood and Orlando? No chance in hell. No, I'm just kidding. Fairly high because what's his name won't stop talking about it. Damian Leone and what's his name? Thornton. David Howard Thornton, I think that's his name.
Mm-hmm.
Is a sensation in social media. Y'all should see it after a good break on this week. Yeah. Unfortunately, there are no breaks. We keep it going. We keep it moving and grooving because there's going to be more announcements. I know I have a video to work on. My breakdown, which is going to be interesting because it's going to be a little more like essay style. I'm excited. It is going to be. That's you. And I need to keep working because I'm going to hear that every time I buy a HHN ticket. Do it one more time. That's what happens when he collects the money. Jack collects, and he gives you a little laugh.
What was this one?
I
What do you
think
mean?
this was for the trust thing.
Oh. Like I said, trusses are weird. It's just usually a frame for something. There's something they can build around it.
Right. Especially when it comes to facade stuff that's not like, if it's lighting truss, it's a lighting truss. It's just going to be a metal thing with lights on it. 2 Killer Tram Terror. Whoa. Need to read. Killer Clown's Terror Tram rumor. I have heard this. I don't know if it's actually going to go anywhere or if it's going to be anything. Terror Tram, I feel like, is so weird because last year we had our Blumhouse Scare Zone, so the Terror Tram kind of made sense. But now this year, who knows? Honestly, at this point anymore. That's how I feel. The theming at the hotel's Hard Rock in particular last year is weak.
Yeah. The whole theming thing, it's coming back this year. They might just do the same thing again.
They'll probably just bring out the same sets. Because, I mean, Cabana Bay is
Pumpkins at
the
Cabana
same.
Bay. Yeah, they just, I wish they'd bring back the experience. But
Or, what would be kind of cool, especially for next year, and I think this would be a cool idea next year, theme each hotel to, like, an original property. Like, you have the pumpkins, you have kind of Wicked Growth-esque, right, in Cabana Bay. Maybe you do a Scarecrow, like, with some of the props and stuff from Scarecrow.
Slaughter
You could
Cinema
do
one.
Slaughter Cinema in one. That could be a good one for, like, Aventura, you could do like an invasion because I know they've done aliens
Yeah.
there. They bring back that.
It would
Scare
be
Zone.
cool too to have icons captured where the photo thing is
yeah.
like you
In the
like
lantern.
holding the lantern, but then the backdrop is like the
Shadows.
icon, like shadows or
That is
something.
all the
Yeah.
icons. Yeah, that would be cool for 35. Considering that, obviously, I know a lot of us would want to see Five Nights at Freddy's, Fallout, but like his
Mhm.
IP, we don't know. Maybe they will.
It will
maybe
be
they
interesting
but-
if they are talking about the conservatory and the whole theme around
Yeah.
Horror Nights. Maybe they expand that to the hotels.
That's what it reminded me of. Where was it? Sapphire Falls kind of
Sapphire with the
had that
yeah.
look with the gothic classic
Mhm.
feel. Yes, we did. We did discuss Garaka. Garaka's back,
Garaka.
and will we reuse the the costumes? I don't know. We'll have to see. But yeah, it did very much look like a Garaka render. Like they took a Garaka render and they were like, oh, we'll have to change this a little bit. So yeah, okay. So I know you were out. You weren't in here at that point when we were talking about it. But yeah. The midnight hour is calling.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
Yeah. Yep. You have 10 minutes to
10
get your last minute questions.
So hypes of y'all the Lagoon Show, the music selection. IP music selection is very good, although I don't know if they would do that because of the licensing, but I
Yeah.
mean it would be really good considering Five Nights at Freddy's, we have Fallout, we have Jason, these IPs that already have classic themes and classic backdrop soundtracks would be really good.
True.
Yeah, final questions for the last like 10 minutes or so. Oh man. Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. I'm not done yet, but just want to thank y'all. If you have not already, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the things. We hang out and do fun stuff like this.
I've never stayed at Dockside. Would you stay there?
Have you stayed at Dockside, right, Chris?
Yep.
I've never stayed. It's on my list of places to stay at some point, but honestly, for now,
Are you talking like now, or is this a Horror Nights trip?
Horror Nights trip, honestly, or now, I would honestly rather stay at Terra Luna. For similar pricing. I know they're a little more expensive than Dockside and Surfside, typically. So I mean, if I was looking to get the cheapest option, then yeah. But Dockside's a smaller one, right?
Dockside, it always
one's
seems like the
smaller?
bigger one.
Or Dockside's the bigger one? I'm not sure.
Surfside, I think is. I mean, they kind of feel almost the same, but Dockside feels like a bigger resort.
Yeah, one of them's a bigger one of them's a smaller one.
I mean, the only problem I have with those is that you're forced one way. Like if you stay at Aventura, there's multiple ways to get there, especially if you leave from Horror Nights and the bus line is crazy. You can, hop on a boat. You can take the bus to Cabana and walk across the street. You can take a bus over to Sapphire. So Dockside, it's like you're forced one way. You're either going to try to just go to a bus for Surfside and walk over, or Dockside. Yeah, I know a lot of people don't like the rooms at Dockside because they're noisy. The way the doors, and a lot of people, if they walk up down the hallways, like you hear the footsteps.
Kids running around.
Yeah, you always hear them running around above you.
We have a couple questions back here, but just wanted to jump into this one. Signature house they would clone on each location. Signature house they would clone. Was that mean like a signature to each coast? I mean, I'm always going to say...
Unleashed had a signature house they could clone on each location. Which would it be a clone?
Chicago. Like, I'm trying to think of like Chicago, like what you could do over there. What could be like... That's not Scarecrow.
I was going to say Dead Man, because Chicago's known to have winter.
Yeah. and it's like
cold.
Harbor Town.
Harbor.
No.
Mm,
I think that could be good. I think Demon's Pier. I mean, it's a classic signature. I feel like modern classic HHN.
yeah.
Or Wicked Growth. I think that'd be a good one too.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
And then for for Vegas, do what do you call this? Hollywood originals are hard because they don't do many of them. I would like to see them try with a full like not an amended set. I would like to see them try the Horror Hotel again. Like if they were starting from scratch, not from having to adapt it to something that's already there. We just start from scratch. I think that'd be a good one. Because I'm trying to think, we've already done, Monstros is already going to happen. I mean, I'm calling it now. Scarecrow, which is ours to begin with, and then ended up in Hollywood. So I'm trying to think of any other original Hollywood originals that are like super kind of profound. Ooh, you know what? I would like to see them do Dark Christmas as a house because they had the Zone. Dark Christmas as a house for Vegas would be fun for the holidays. Freddy or Springtrap on the merch? Probably Freddy. I feel like Freddy's got to be the one that's there.
Freddy or
Springtrap.
Huh?
Springtrap is the that's the bunny.
Oh, the yeah, okay.
The golden rabbit.
Yeah. Ooh.
It's got to be Freddy. I think it's got to be Freddy.
It's got to be Freddy.
Freddy's the main. Freddy's the main guy, and they can't spoil Springtrap. I mean, most people already know what it is, but I don't want to put Freddy there. Tequila or bourbon? I prefer bourbon, but I'm not really a drinker anyway.
Yeah, I'm not like I'm more like I guess a casual beer, like all different kinds of beers. So, but if I had to choose a tequila or bourbon, probably tequila, I guess.
Pandora's Box. Forgot about that one. Holidays in Hell. Holidays in Hell would probably be my pick actually.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting about that house, but that was kind of with Dark Christmas kind of.
Yeah,
but Holidays in Hell would be probably my pick because you could do. I would love to see us do Holidays in Hell.
Oh yeah.
Chica cupcake or Nuka Cola for food. You already know what's going on. Nuka Cola. But Chica cupcake.
I'll go with the cola as well.
You're not gonna get the cupcake? Wow, I'm shocked.
I like cupcakes, but I generally do not really eat the sweets at like the ones in the tribute store. I leave that for our good buddy Xavier. Loves to eat everything in the tribute store, but me, I'm like, I can't do it because sometimes that food is good and sometimes it's like super rich or super sweet, and I'm like,
The last time I got food at a tribute store was when Lash and I were at Studios for Universal's birthday, for the park's birthday. We got, and I had this before, we got the Jaws roll cake. Jaws, let me say this. Jaws Swiss roll. This thing I had last year. They did this treat last year for the summer store, and I was like, well, I got to get this because I believe it's a Japan item. I believe they have this in Japan. I'm adding a photo in here now. For those who don't know what this is, it is basically a blue cake. What it looks like. I got this. We got this and shared it. Put it back on screen. And this thing was god awful. This was terrible.
I was not expecting that.
This was god awful. And I had it last year and I thought it was good. I was like, oh, it's good. It's only like $7 and it's a pretty big cake slice. You can probably see by the picture. It's a fairly large and thick, cake slice. And Lash and I had trouble eating it because you could just tell just the dye.
Was it just sitting from last time?
It might have been. This thing sold out. So,
Wow.
Kudos to you, but I can't.
Yeah, I don't remember if I had the Hollywood one. I thought I did it just to compare, but I do not remember.
All right. I feel like.
Oh, that's right. Hollywood's it wasn't like melted
same.
like ours.
Oh yeah. Well, ours was like was cold, which
Yeah.
is weird. All right. Well, the midnight hour has approached.
That is, I think that's a
we're
good
wrapping
place
it
to
up.
call it. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for the support tonight. Pretty excited for the trip. Yeah, we'll see about that one. We'll see. Thank you all. Yes, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to Dreamport, of course, for being the co-host tonight. It would have been terrible without you being here, of course. So thank you.
Yeah. Dirty Nuka-Cola. I see you in the chat. Need that.
Yeah.
I'm always down. But we'll talk more about food, I'm sure. Again, at a later time.
Yeah.
See you next month. Yeah, we'll be. I mean, probably even before that, honestly. I don't know whenever you plan.
Depends on Horror Nights. They're funny. Watch them just announce something on Monday. Just.
Okay, so had to do one more for you.
Is he gone? Is he gone?
He's gone.
Okay.
For those who don't know, video coming soon on my end. If you have not, same thing. Like, comment, subscribe. I am doing stuff. I have other ideas outside of just doing update stuff. I have ideas that are coming on beyond just updates for HHN. Like I said, next video I'm going to try to do a little more of an essay style. We'll see how it goes. And I have other stuff coming up soon. But thank you all for hanging out. It's always a pleasure being on here. Thank you, Zombie Chris, for hosting. We gotta love it. And thank you all for watching and hanging out. It is great to see y'all in this chat and have y'all just always hanging out. We had this week has been fun. It's been a lot, but it's been fun. But yeah, I think that's a good place to call things. I think good place to kind of wrap it up. So I don't know, you want to wish farewell?
Farewell, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for all the support during the chat. Thank you for all the comments. Trying to get some lights going. There we go.
Ooh. And more announcements to come, right?
Oh yeah.
More to come.
Yep. More stuff to come, especially like you said, Dreamport's working on some stuff. I still have the Horror Unleashed video dropping hopefully next week. If we don't have anything announcement wise, I have a video ready to go. So you probably can expect 2 videos from me next week.
Yeah. All right. And
that is it. Thank you all. Catch you on another live stream at some point in the future. Thank you all for the support. Have a good night, everybody.